I
And sure
believe we
enough,
are live. Welcome back to the second hours of the Quantum Show. Me and Lynn Ann are just chilling here in the studio, I guess. And people ask for links. Joe should show up. Shadow will show up. And I believe Raven. And I also sent a link to our Keith and in email. So whoever shows up, shows up. So, what did you think of the first hour, Lynn?
I loved it. I love crystals. I use them quite often. Um, like you say, they're very programmable, and intention is really all you need. I think a lot of people want to grab a crystal, any sort. Of course, the most common are the clear crystal. But
Hmm.
a lot of people don't realize that when you pick up uh, crystals, there's a way to tell if a crystal is live or not.
Mm,
You, do you know what a laser pointer is?
I
We
do.
we all love to play with them. The dogs love them.
Hmm.
You point one of those at a crystal, and if it's real, you'll see it's real. It is, and Joe Lawrenson's one who turned me on to that.
Oh yeah. You mean
Yeah. Uh, oh, you timed out there.
yeah, that's my connection. I need to it'll stay up because I
Yeah.
got two connections on this. I'm using my cell phone and not the Apple. So, it'll stay up. It might take a minute, but
You
go ahead.
take a laser pointer and just shine it through the crystal. If the crystal's just flat and sort of sparkling, that's one thing. But and it's probably not a organic, so to speak, crystal. It might be one that's grown. But
Hmm.
the real thing, and I've noticed this with most gemstones. I won't say all of them because some of them are so opaque that they won't shine. But with a lot of the clear ones, whether they're red or green or what have you, they will they will uh, shine like mad. It'll look like something's crawling around in there. It's
Hmm.
amazing and it's beautiful.
Hmm.
And uh, particularly when you use a red laser pointer on it.
Yeah.
And I've used those. I've used crystal energy on a lot of different kinds of projects over the years. We have I've collected stones over the years, and I've been gifted them, and uh, just enjoyed them. Uh, I would not say I'm new to it because maybe only in the last 20 years I've been messing with them. But you know, I've uh, I've noticed that it allows for a more significant dialogue with your guides.
Yes.
Allows them to come through to you in a more clear way, rather than just, oh, he's there, what does he want, and
It's like
I
a
think we
physical medium, like
yeah,
the walkie-talkie to the quantum realm.
precisely. That's a very good way of putting it. I think sometime in the future, I don't know near or far, but I think sometime there will be a real awakening to it when we're ready as a species. Right now, we're not. We're not ready for that. But
Look at the
radio
star
is
seed stuff. Go
yeah,
ahead.
radio had to begin with had crystals.
Hmm.
Think about it. That's how we used it. Um the tubes that we were using were so popular in them bang it was crystal.
Hmm.
So we have a certain understanding of them, on a base level.
Getting out. It'll come back. There we go.
Okay, so we've had an interesting time with crystals. I've used them in situations where I needed someone to contact me. I couldn't get a hold of them for one reason or another, and held that crystal and looked for that person's energy. Um, and that's all. The only way I
More
know
lag.
yeah,
Sorry about that.
the energy uh, of that individual.
Hmm.
And it's interesting. I mean, we depend an awful lot on each other's face to recognize one another, but people have their own smell. They
Hmm.
have their taste. Although we
Hmm.
don't go around putting our mouth on others, not in social situations. Anyway, or maybe more social than usual. But we uh, we we very much have an odor.
Hmm.
We have a energy that precedes us into a room. If you're very uh, if your vibes are very high, you can
You,
feel a person before they enter.
let me add to that. If your vibes are strong enough, they
Mhm.
can precede you in the room too. Because the crazy people, people who are, say, like the same teenagers that have poltergeist activity,
Mhm.
those guys, you will feel the craziness coming before if you're sensitive enough to feel it.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can tell if you're a psychic and you've been around a little bit, and
Yeah.
I see so many youngsters, and I say youngsters, I will say somebody under 25.
Hmm.
Okay, you're still pretty much a youngster, whether you like it or not. But once that person has been around a bit, the one that's casting that much energy around, it sort of begins to occur to them that their energy is all over everything, and they pull it back.
So much lag. Hang on. Let me switch connections. Hold on.
Sure, go ahead.
Hopefully, we won't just completely. Are we still here?
I'm here.
Awesome. It's working. Good deal.
Excellent. It's always good
Hooray
when
for the
that.
backups.
Yay! When we pull ourselves together with, by the time we're 25, we have been corralled as human beings so much. Our school systems are busy teaching children to be corralled. Our
Right.
our work systems, and I say system because it is one. The way that particular little subculture works is unique to them, and we uh, we start to pull our energy in because we don't want to be laughed at, we don't want to be pointed at, we
Right.
don't. Most of us don't want to be different,
Right.
and the universe laughs at our plans. Of course, they'll just look at you and say, "Guess what,
Yeah.
kiddo? You're different." you know. But most of us learn how to pull that in, to
Hmm.
to stand attention when we're told to,
Hmm.
and however else social uh, world works. But you get that one kid or one young adult or even an older one whose energy isn't quite contained by all that. And
Here we
man,
go.
boy, they go wild.
Could you
So,
say that statement again because we both lagged out?
okay, we literally if our energy is not contained, a lot of weird things happen at the office. Like you get mad and your computer blows up. Little things like
People
that.
start dropping everything.
Yeah,
I've seen that happen. People start dropping papers, pens, uh, something they were holding, their cups of coffee. I've seen people drop stuff.
yeah, it jars their energy field. It really does. So, it is disruptive. But boy, if you can focus that thing and use it, how
Hmm.
powerful that is.
Hmm. You're this
You just,
man.
yeah, you just timed out on me a little bit. I didn't hear you.
You're like one of the X-Men.
Yeah,
Yeah,
literally.
and it's really people watching. That is really what it can be like when you are focused. I have done some stuff that I never thought was that was humanly possible, and I did that before I joined into the crowd.
Man, that just went out.
Huh. It would. Did we time out again?
Yeah,
Okay, I did some
irritating.
crazy stuff before I joined the craft, and there was no ceremony. There was only focus and self uh, focus. There was only focus,
Yeah,
self discipline. I did that with Buddhism, and it was nobody could tell me about it. I had nobody to confer with, but I was
right.
so
Out the door it went.
ugh, I felt I had everything I needed at the time because that's what Buddhism teach taught me.
But you
It says,
did.
yeah,
At that time, you had everything.
you are a complete package, and I am realizing that. And a lot of people, they're all taught, like I said in the first hour, about Coyote Girl needing her meds.
Yeah.
Is she
And,
doesn't need those? Those are not hindrances. Those are her abilities, and they're manifesting.
yeah. And
Yeah,
that
Joe
that
is.
makes it hard for them. It,
Yeah,
Joe
and
is
she's
saying the
been
link's
told
not
this.
stable.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
that's
I
it's the weather here.
yeah, okay. I think a lot of and of course I'm no doctor and I'm no expert. And I think we need to disclaim that right there.
Yeah, there's no
That
experts here.
no,
Just heavy experience.
heavy experience in a big way. And I've had people try to knock down my abilities through
Mhm.
medication. And I'm not crazy, not by a long shot. My biggest problem is I'm very, very sane. And know, that's that's really the fun part of it.
Man,
Man, we're
this
just going,
lag is
going, going.
crazy.
Yeah. So, with all of these other things, it's like with guides. I've physically known about a guide for several decades now, and he does visit me back and forth. He doesn't interfere,
Hmm.
but if I find that I'm at a crossroads or quandary about something, invariably I will sort of trance out, and I'm at a stream with a little old Buddhist man, you know, and his name is Master Po, and he'll help me find that way through. He'll help me find that way through.
Hmm.
So when we do that stuff, you have to realize though that you can call up the wrong things.
Oh yeah. Um, calling up the wrong things. You don't want to be a lighthouse for everything. You
No,
want to put out, just like in Circle, in Perfect Love and Perfect Trust, and that's kind of a broad range, really. But
you know
it's
we
not as, yeah, it's not as broad as everybody's invited. you
No,
know?
perfect love and perfect trust is referring to you,
Yeah.
and you are declaring the world. This is how the world is when you're in circle. This is how things are.
Mm,
And when you do that, and you're calling elements, you're calling the gods, you don't want just anything roaming through to interrupt your circle or to falsely guide
right.
your circle. And that can happen.
Right.
And this is why you learn shielding. This is why you learn
Mm,
warding. And some of those words that may be a little bit broad, but all a word is saying, this is how my world is, and these are my markers. Don't
mhm,
anything come inside those markers that doesn't belong here.
mhm.
That's
And depending on the way you do it and who you are and how you are,
mhm,
you will notice if somebody you don't want is there somehow. Either they will be disruptive, you will be disruptive to them. There's just a whole myriad of things that to notice aspects. If
well,
something
that's
comes in that you don't want in,
yeah.
you
Those
will know you don't want it in, and there will be no need to second guess yourself. For
right.
the people listening, right? We know.
Well, for Pete's sake, here we are
Oh,
again.
yeah.
Say again for the people listening. Say again, the people listening.
Oh, to the people listening, we know this, but if you are example casting circle and you say in perfect love and perfect trust and you put a glyph up as a ward, and if something,
Or-
you will know it was not for that thing, that entity, and
Right,
you will be able to banish that entity because they're in your house now. You're not in the wild, you're not out and about, and you'll be able to say you are not invited and you're leaving now, and they will leave because you have cast a circle. A circle is,
boy, that's jumpy.
where did you hear last?
With casting a circle.
When you're casting a circle, that is your power base right there. That's your power. You are most powerful right there as you cast a circle. And if something comes in, you are able to banish it. And you will know that thing is not supposed to be there based on your wards, your glyphs, your markers, like Lynn is talking about.
Right, right. And it's no different than closing the front door to your house
Right.
and the back door and your windows.
Hmm.
What's funny is when you put those words up in a circle and you put them up and suddenly nobody can get into your circle at all from the outside. That's hilarious, because they walk in, they stand at the door, and they don't quite know. Here we are again.
Yeah. The last thing
They
I heard
don't
was
quite.
nobody can get in.
Nobody can get into a circle that isn't supposed to be there. I've seen them stand at the door and can't get in. Not just not just not let in, but can't get in. I've
Yeah.
seen little animals, like little dogs or little cats, stop at the circle and look at you like, "What are you doing?" And have to cut a little hole in for them to run through. So it does work, but intention is everything. You know, the universe is very careful about uh, about our shielding and about how we our protection from unseen things. Now, Joe has said the CIA has recognized both Eastern and Western magical arts and has their own training program in them, the Gateway. He's put up a link if you care to hear that. You might want to stick that up for him.
Yes, please, the gateway. There you
Right,
go. Okay, he's
right. And of course, Joe is far more knowledgeable about this stuff than I am. But I think that, getting back to crystals and that, we refer to crap because that's where we're most knowledgeable, have the most experience. But the odd mundaner, the person who does yeah,
timed out.
the
We
odd
timed out a minute.
mundaner, yeah, the odd mundaner, the person who isn't drawn to craft doesn't realize that they have those same abilities and can use that energy same way we can.
Hmm.
It doesn't take a circle. The reason the circle is done is
It just
to
takes
protect.
conviction.
Well, it's to protect the individual practitioner from something they don't want. That's really what it comes down to.
Hmm.
And of course, circle is a religious event as well as a power driven event. So it really depends on the person and the group that they're with. I've I've have talked to many people over the years that didn't particularly care to get involved in a a Wiccan circle. We'll say Wicca simply because that's recognized in the United States, and we don't necessarily. We have many different traditions in it, and I'm trying to
Hmm.
think what I was going to say, but the individual has a lot of personal power. The biggest thing they need to do is learn how to shield against events they don't want.
Hmm.
So we're
Yeah.
we're
Uh,
we're at that place.
yeah. Outside interference
Yeah,
influences. And
yeah.
okay, we back.
And yeah, and Joseph said here that the dog actually waited for the doorway to be opened, and she had no way to know what was going on. Of course, I've always said our animals are sentient,
Oh
but
yeah.
it's it, a lot of people are so materialistically driven that they require the crystal, they require the wand or the chalice or whatever magical device, the protection uh, piece. And those are wonderful for beginning. They really are. But they're not necessarily the end all to it. A person can have a room full of magical, I'll wait, of, of magical devices and have no power at all. None. And another person have nearly none of the accoutrement that you would expect and look at something and say, the world is this way. I see it that way. And there it is.
You just said the world is that way. I can
The
see it
world
that
is
way.
this way. I see it this way.
Yeah. For everyone
Uh-huh.
listening, that's the equivalent of going bippity boppity boo, and it worked, and it
Yeah.
happened.
I've looked at traffic signals that were taking way too long and said, you need to change now. Boom, it's good changes right then, It's not the words, it's the intention.
Hmm.
Everything is the intention.
Yeah, and the more we learn about ourselves and how to focus and have a clear thought without the radio blasting, without, am I worried about this guy, that girl, this situation, work, car, dog, person, place, weather, all that stuff, have a clear thought and be able
Well,
to, you know, have that clear thought.
yeah, so much, and like Joe pointed out here, um, these special words, these special tools, those are ways to lower our level of disbelief. That's
Hmm.
what that is, to clear our minds of the distraction of, oh my, this is bad tonight. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
All the East Coast has a lot of heavy weather going through it right now.
right, right.
We had a big storm last night. Raven had a storm yesterday, and she's not too far from here. So, yeah,
Yeah,
everybody is still recovering. All the towers are bouncing around still.
sure. Um, when when you're trying to manifest, and manifesting is what we're talking about here. That is the word, manifest.
Hmm.
There is a number of components to that. And you know, I think one of the biggest problems that people have these days is not taking 10, 15 minutes a day, clearing everything out and hearing nothing and getting in touch with deity. That's holding us all back. You
What
know,
was that last part of that sentence? Clearing and calming
clearing
and
clearing out the noise and getting in touch with deity,
okay,
however you perceive it, and really getting to know who it is you're praying to.
right.
That's a biggie.
And so many people have a preconceived notion.
Oh yes.
They're
You know,
given a notion.
yeah, well, we're brought up by parents who have a notion of how that should be, and that notion's based on how they were brought up.
Hmm.
The big thing there though is taking that 15, 20 minutes, an hour to sit back and hear nothing and okay, I'll wait. And be alone with your thoughts and your intention, not just your prayers. I get up every morning and I spend at least 10 minutes to organize my thoughts, to to give homage to my gods, and to allow myself that few moments of absolute peace
Hmm.
and gather that power inside of me. And then, as I gather in, get ready to blow it out, you know. When I say blow it out, I'm talking about it. Okay, we'll do it. We'll wait. Okay, here we are. When I say blow it out, I'm saying you're gathering all that power, all that energy. You focus it in the way you want it to go, whether it's
Yeah.
towards gardening or maybe you need to clean your home. And while you're cleaning your house, gather some more power and just start being happy. I got a house to clean. That's fabulous.
Hmm.
You
And
know?
I will add to that what our Keith says, and it's true, is whether you feel like doing it or not, smile. Paint
Yes.
one on if you have to, because like I will paraphrase what was said in Heartbreak Ridge. Save your ass will mind or follow. I miss.
Oh, wait a minute, Nathan.
Okay.
Save your ass and your mind will follow.
Yes. because
Okay, yeah,
you're
yeah,
putting, it's in the movie, it's save your mind, your ass will follow, but in the
but
quantum,
it's
it
true.
goes both ways.
Yes, it's true. Um, we are in a constant barrage of noise. Constant. Whether it's, yeah.
Constant
Whether,
barrage of noise.
yeah, whether it's on Facebook, television, the radio, YouTube, okay?
Yeah,
And we volunteer for every bit of it. Opt out for just a little bit a day and get in touch with your power, your source of power, and who you are. You'll find your energy levels getting up. Yeah, it's free your mind and your ass will follow.
I know.
Yeah.
I was modifying it for the paranormal.
Oh well. But you know, as long as you are distracted from what your purpose is, you are not going to realize your your full potential. It's not going to happen. You know, get
Yeah,
that distraction out of the way and out of your life as far as you can make it happen. Now
I
there's
have to put.
gonna be crying kids. There's gonna be yelling wives or husbands. These things are gonna happen. But the
Yeah,
more calm and centered you are, the less it's gonna matter to you.
yeah. I'm going to throw this up there. YJ is certainly tuned in his household, and that is an it's like an empathic communication right there.
And Joey's teasing him a little
Yeah.
bit, but not very much. Wait till he starts using English. My my pooch can yell for food. I need food, food, you know. So he's okay.
Oh.
So he's he does that, and of course his little dog, uh, his wife's dog, Muggy. I love Mama. It's so adorable. But they can be taught, and they do understand to a certain length. Um, are they, able to comprehend everything? No, but your average 3-year-old can't either.
Right.
So, it's and they some of them can operate almost at a 4 or 5-year-old level. So
Hmm.
they do get very attuned to what's going on. And once they know how to ask for something, they're gonna ask. There's no shyness to it.
They will establish communication with you somehow. You don't
Oh
need them fancy buttons from Amazon. You can just, they will figure out a way to let you know, and you will realize, just like the way we train them,
oh
stimulus, condition, result, condition, stimulus, result, they will give us condition, stimulus, result too. Just
that's
like those
right.
memes that say, yes, I have a cat. He has trained me very well.
Mhm. They do. The one dog here it learned how to grab the sleeve and take you where he wants you to go. The other one saw that action and learned it too. They were
Yes,
trained
that's something
dogs.
else.
Yeah, they
I
learn it.
Yeah, they learn from each other because they see he or she's getting results. If I do that too, I'll get results. Or this will happen if I do what they're doing.
Right.
They will totally do that. Every dog person, every animal person will tell you. The cats, they will do it spitefully. I'm not even joking.
Oh
They
yeah.
will do it
They have their ways.
spitefully. Yeah, I love cats. Don't get
I
me
do
wrong, y'all.
I do
Don't get
too, but I
me.
love my things too.
Yeah, they do their own. Yeah, they definitely do.
We had
Um,
one that cleared a a shelf of all my pretty things and wrecked them, but good. And I learned that I don't like puzzles and putting them all back together again. Now Joe is saying here the muscles in your face when you put on a smile create the hormones as if you are happy, and that's true.
Yes.
Our body will react in ways that we tell them to. It's a part of discipline, though, and the discipline that is involved in living in our day to day world is astounding. You've got to get up at this time to go this place to do this operation, and be annoyed the whole long way. That's discipline, you know.
Yeah. I
And
think I may have been able to just clear up a little bit of distortion in the in the stream.
okay, good.
Okay. I had two windows open on my computer and we're all on the same pipe. Anyway,
Yeah, yeah. We're we were. If it's an artificial smile, I just get nauseated. That's Frank.
yeah. Oh, that's Frank. Okay, Stormy.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
realize who that was last show.
yeah. He doesn't use other things on YouTube or these sorts of things, but that's all right.
Right.
The 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 discipline. If you can discipline yourself to that nonsense for somebody else's gratification, you surely need to learn to discipline yourself to get
For
the
you.
results for you, to get results
Yeah.
you want, whether
That.
that's
Oh man.
ability to gather a certain amount of power for a certain manifestation, or just to get through the day so you don't carrying out on somebody. you know.
Yeah. And I'm gonna go ahead and say to that, when we do it for someone else at their behest, but we're not able to do it for ourselves, that is also part of the social conditioning.
Yeah. It
Telling
just
you, you work for me, you
yeah.
work for somebody else. You can't do it on your own. You need
You have to do it
just,
their way.
hey, you can do it, si se puede, and all that. No, you
No.
can. You can do it.
The thing is that what I said earlier in the show was we are in these little constructs of our own making, but they're there and they're real. If you can discipline yourself to that thing, whether it's school or uh, higher learning or going
A
to a
job.
job, you know, um, adhering to certain social mores, you can teach yourself to be powerful.
These are all, in other words, what R. Keith has said too, just in
Yes.
other words. And I use my own words to describe it too.
Oh yeah. We all came to this place, this time, to get that message out that
Hmm.
we may be enslaved to a place, but it's like the elephant trained to a small circle. We can
Hmm.
step out anytime we anytime we want. We can. And Joe is smiling. He's making sure.
Yeah.
So he's uh he's a rather serious person, our Joe is.
Hmm.
And to get him to smile, it really takes some doing, doesn't it?
Yeah. You got to
Yeah.
be really funny or
He can't
really,
believe how dumb we are. I'm
yeah.
not sure which. Yeah, he can't believe how dumb we were. I'm not sure which it is.
Yeah.
We're
Diane just came in.
Hi,
S-
Diane.
Hey, Diane. Diane's, what are y'all talking about? Name it.
Well, actually, it's been about four different subjects because I can't keep my mind on one, and that's crystals. We started with that, and then we went from crystals to powering up crystals and how that works, how to shield oneself in the middle of all the uh, the uh, negativity in the world. Uh, Joe has said biofeedback and the mysteries, and that's true too. And how to get on in the world in spite of the world, and how to gather power to yourself that you should never let go. But we all had to do it. We were told to do it. It was the right thing to do.
Right.
And and there we are. It's all quantum, and the dogs and cats were involved as well. So
Yeah.
they're our little familiars. They're there, because I've always seen it this way because God just needs a pair of arms to hold us once in a while, and so He sent them.
Yep. Yeah. And something that, um, this is manifestation also. R. Keith brought up manifestation, and he believes in the biblical teachings and then some. He doesn't
Oh
take away from any of them. This is his words, right? Now, I am not a Christian, right?
yeah, right. Neither am
And
I, but I know a
some of
lot
y'all
about
will be shocked to know that,
it.
right? Some people will be shocked. Shocking, I say, shocked. But R. Keith, who me and him run a lot parallel in what we talk about. His is just slightly different,
Yeah,
and but we run a lot parallel. And he was talking about he follows the teachings of Jesus Christ
right,
and the Bible, but he doesn't limit himself to one version of the Bible, and he also studies deeper
right.
and goes beyond just the written word and what do those words mean, and he is Christian,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's fine. Everyone needs a structure. Let me talk about that for a minute. A structure. Okay, when you have no structure, you have no, like, imagine an engine in a car. The
right.
engine, it provides all the power, but without rack and pinion steering, it's not going to go anywhere. And
Well,
without
without
a
tires.
drivetrain,
Yeah,
right?
tires.
The without the components, and that is a structure. Be it Christian, Wiccan, the Jedi Code, the
Right,
Sith path,
right,
whatever, a
right.
structure. And if you
What
have
and
a
what you're
structure,
saying and what you're saying here really is not about what you call it. It's about whether it's truth or not.
hmm
Truth is truth. We're not talking, and fact is fact also.
yeah,
Sometimes they're not the same thing, but fact is a very telling thing in anything that you have to discern whether it's right for you or not. But truth is truth, whether it is the truth of the Sermon on the Mount, which is absolutely a uh, a lesson in manifestation and in uh, godly love and in love for each other.
hmm
Absolutely. And you probably won't hear too many people say it's not. There's very little that Jesus Christ taught that's not truth. I think a lot of where we get into trouble is when we start talking about dogma. This
Right.
has, and we start building that construct we were both talking about, where this is how life is.
Right.
You can walk out of that and say to your and say sorry,
Lag.
when you can walk out of it and say to yourself, okay, here is truth. Here are my boundaries within that truth. Here's how I'm going to live my life within that truth, and and live a proper life yourself. Then we can begin to get free and start living in power,
Hmm.
you know. And I don't discount worship of the universe or God as you believe in him or her.
Hmm.
I don't discount any part of that because I believe that very, very strongly.
Hmm.
The It's how it's called is where we get into trouble. Whether it we insist that our dogma be called the the epic path of Rasmus, we'll say that, or the Karen's guide to everyday shopping.
Hmm.
Okay, because each one has their truth, and if you've ever looked, we'll go to that. We've ever looked at an argument or a problem with a Karen, and I'll say Karen because we all understand that she's the quarrelsome woman, the shrew, and her counterpart is Chad, who's just as quarrelsome and just happens to be male. But you know how much fear is involved in that person.
Lag. Lag.
Okay, how much fear is involved in that person's life. When you start realizing that the reason they're yelling and screaming and jumping up and down is because they're powerless. They have no power.
Right.
They don't even have presence. Everybody else is like, oh, they're going to start throwing stuff. Well, maybe they will, but I'll dodge. That's all,
Right. That's
But
part of our power. We
yeah,
can get out of the
we
way.
can walk away from it and not give it a second thought. It We are not at their mercy by a long shot
Mm-mm.
or anybody else's. You
Mm-mm.
know, it's more of a Diane says that there's
Uh,
something behind you that looks like a face. I don't know what it would be. It's a coat. If I could
that's
see
my
it,
jacket. That's
yeah,
another jacket. Towel. And there's
yeah,
square stuff over there. But hey, if you see a face, okay. You see a face.
yeah.
Hey, Shat. Or no, sorry.
That's right. And
Yeah.
the Sermon on the Mount had Buddhist roots. Yeah, it's very likely it did. There's a lot of evidence to suggest that Jesus spent time in the Far East, and really, I think maybe even could have some of that mixed in together. So, of course, this late date is a little hard to verify, but
Yeah.
the message is the same. You look at all the messages from all of the avatars uh, in the world, and you start to realize that wait a minute, anything that grinds down to or grounds down to truth, what we know for a fact is true, that we know works.
Hmm.
It's in all of them, all of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah,
You know,
it's like I put it years ago and I've stuck to it. Everybody got a piece and ran with it and made that their cornerstone. But everybody got a piece. If they
yeah,
ignore the rest of it or just don't comprehend it. But
or or
everybody
they
seems to,
didn't or they didn't write it down, and somebody came along behind and said this would be so much better with this other thing.
yeah,
And that then you start to get your uh
denominations.
yeah, well, you start to fragment out into, oh, I don't believe that, but I do believe this. Um, you know,
And I love it when people say, "Oh, I don't believe in that." But you're
yeah,
acknowledging it. You're acknowledging that it's real. "Oh, I don't believe in this." You know what? I believe in everything that comes around. Whether I practice or follow anything along with it, that's another animal.
yeah.
But um
I'm very careful about what I introduce into my thought processes, and
mm,
that
mm,
doesn't mean I don't consider it all. Think about them carefully.
right,
Where does that fit inside my truth? Does it fit inside my ability to live that truth? Does it affect my interaction with other people? Does it cause me to hate somebody? You know,
right.
and once you
D-
start getting into those human failings, whether it's uh, whether it is about hatred on a racial level or an economic one, because we're seeing that too.
yep,
We're Whether it's the very um, the very rich or the very poor, either way, and those who live somewhere on the fringes of the middle class because it's getting further. But when we
lag. I'm
start to
sorry.
realize that all of this noise on that outside rim, whether it's the noise that so and so uh, hacked up his wife, or somebody else robbed the bank. That's noise and it's distraction from our truth. And it's important to visit that truth every single day, as often as you can. YJ, I appreciate your thought. I know what I know. I don't know it all, not by a long shot.
We only have experience that we have gone through.
Yeah.
And like, okay, disclaimer for the show, I am not in
Oh,
or reading
Nathan,
an article.
you got jumped.
Yeah, I'm
You
not
jumped.
finding a thing online and talking about it.
Yeah.
These are all, everything mentioned here is personal experience. For
Yeah.
me, Lynn, everything is personal experience. And there's no, well, I read about this thing. No, there's,
I
but
don't
it won't
comment
be,
on it.
this is what I'm presenting. It'll be like the Antarctica stuff. I've never been to Antarctica, but I will refer to it because I have a personal experience. And last show, I was talking about my emotional reaction is like a trauma response. I don't know
Right.
where it came from,
You
but I
mean
was
it.
talking about Atlantis and symbology
Yeah,
from Atlantis.
exactly.
So
You
I will
know,
refer to
I think that's one way. Oh, rats. I think that's one way to gauge a response to truth. Is Does it excite you? Does it give you uh, pause for thought? And are you feeling it? Because if you don't feel it, it isn't your truth, not by a long shot.
Welcome back, Shadow and Sun.
Hi, Shadow.
Hey, brother. Hey, sister. How you guys doing? Sorry
Yeah,
I'm late. My show went a little longer than usual, but um,
that's always
it was,
good.
it was a special occasion. A big friend of the channel and a big friend in real life was on, and I had to, um, help him plug his project. It's you know, kind of a big deal for all of us in the gaming thing. But how you guys doing? You guys have a good week?
Been a great week for me.
Yeah, it's been
Eh,
good.
eh.
Standard level of
No,
weirdness,
hey,
so it's
I
not
look
weird at
at it,
all.
and we may have had our challenges this week, but it beats the alternative. You know,
Any day above dirt. Any day. Oh, okay.
exactly.
Now
Sorry
I'm
for the
running the
lag,
show. Okay,
everybody.
Nathan. I see how you are. Swapping
Sorry for the
places with
lag.
me.
It's the
You know,
weather.
yeah, I
I've
know.
got
One of our guests literally was popping in and out for like an hour and a half. The poor dear. She our RPG grandma was just having a heck of a time, and I've been having some issues too. And yeah, the weather sucks. It's supposed to be warm. I'm in California and it's freezing. It's been freezing for we're almost like 2 weeks into spring, and the only thing is springing is be back under my covers.
I can appreciate that. We've had a little bit of cooler weather here, but it's mostly been mid 60s, 70s. We don't have the rain,
Yeah,
but
you know,
we had
it
hail
just stopped.
yesterday though.
It just stopped raining like 2 days ago, and I kid you not, it like rained for a month, and we're still in a drought. Go figure.
They
I don't know
just
where it's
haven't
going,
haven't been to work to update their systems yet.
but yeah, I had a little weirdness. Nothing spectacular. Um, like today's show was kind of weird. I wasn't expecting to hear from my friend George, and my topic on my show just happened to coincide with the inspiration of it. That being my friend George and his project. So that was like incredibly serendipitous. Otherwise, the week it was fun. My son had spring break, and we went on a 2 hour hike. That was fun. Otherwise, we just kind of sat around the house, goofing off and stuff.
Well,
Otherwise, it's just been kind of it kind of I kind of had some issues with expectations. I got some books, and they turned out to be kind of disappointing, and I almost threw one of them across the room because it was that awful.
uh,
But then I got another book that was great, and I can't wait to get into it. But you know me, I got to finish the other ones first because I'm fair. If anything, before I talk about them, I want to read them cover to cover, and then I can go, okay, your book sucked, and this is why. Because one of the books came incredibly highly recommended by James L. of all people, and yeah, no, it wasn't James. I'm sorry. It had everything it needed to be great except um, the content.
Except
No,
what?
the content. The content. No, the art was great. Not great. It was really nice. Some of the aspects were very interesting and right up my alley, or right down my street, as he would say. But then other aspects were like, you got to be kidding me. Let me ask you guys a question. Okay, right now, if you buy a flashlight, right, and you turn it on, I don't care if you get it from the dollar store or if you get, like a really good flashlight. How far is that beam going to go and light up an area of darkness? What do you expect out of a flashlight?
well, I expect it to go at least to illuminate where my path is going, at least a few feet. If I've got a
Right.
tack light,
Okay,
I expect bigger things out of a tack light than I do out of a flashlight.
Well, okay. Let's fast forward like, I don't know, a couple hundred years from now, and you get a standard flashlight. How far do you think in feet do you think it would light up?
Not far. Not
Couple
far.
100 years from
From now,
now,
yeah.
Oh, oh. Gee, I have no idea. Honest,
I
I
will
Pretty
don't
say
far.
know.
1/8 of a mile.
Okay. Would you believe 20 feet in game terms? I'm not joking.
Oh boy. Maybe
That's pretty
not that
good.
great of a book then.
Maybe not. Maybe, you know, I've never read anything that I didn't get something from. If only the fact
Right,
that I never want to see the book again. But,
right. Well,
I always
I
get something from it, though.
okay, check this out. I get this flashlight right here. Okay. Cost me $20 at Walmart. It's rechargeable with a USB. I can literally 500 feet away, I can annoy the people in the church on the uppermost level with the standard beam. I can
Oh, that
annoy the
Right.
sounds
hell
like
out of
such
it.
fun. Oh, I'm sorry.
Um,
Anyway, that just sounds like
it's a
you're
good it's a
serious.
good flashlight. It's a good flashlight, but it was $20. Okay.
Right.
In the game, their flashlights light 20 feet.
Mm.
That's
Yeah, I'm
not
like,
enough.
do you guys understand? I mean, mind you, this was written in 2019. Not an excuse, just a fact. But the rest of the book reads the same. Their idea of the future is like 20 years ago.
Very
Ah.
one-dimensional.
Yeah, so
Well, I've read
um,
stuff that I've had to dig for whatever treasure there was in it,
there's
and
some good stuff.
usually I just
I'm
drop
not
it in the
gonna
hole I dug. But
I'm
it
not gonna poo-poo all over the book, but because there's some stuff I really loved about it. But when it came to the other stuff, anyways, that was my week.
Okay. Let
I can see you were very disappointed in it.
me get over the lag. I'm going to take this opportunity to lag out before I tell you about Keith Andrews' books are coming out. He has a
I
Yep.
know.
series of books coming out, and I am going to officially plug Races of the Worlds Volume 2 and
Ooh,
Volume 1. I
you have a
will leave a
link for
link in the
those?
description. Book that he has in stock right now, Races of the Worlds, and it will be in the description afterwards with instructions. So I have it. I have it. It's very good. Volume 2 is coming out. It's not a reboot of Volume 1. Volume
Oh,
1.
it's
It
more
is an
comprehensive.
expansion. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's expansion of Volume 1. So he's calling it
Yeah,
Volume
I'm
2,
definitely
and
gonna pick them up. I'm definitely I'm definitely picking up his books. I just I'm like Gomez Adams in the first Adams Family movie. Old business first, then new business. I got old business I got to take care of. It's not about money. It's just about keeping all my ducks in a row. I could I could buy a bunch of his books and start handing them out, but I got to take care of some stuff. And one of those things I got to take care of is sending Mr. Andrews some paints so that he and I can do. I'm going to teach him how to paint a little bit better. I'm not saying, I'm a great painter, but I've seen what he does. And there's just a couple of little tricks that I know and a couple of products that is just going to, and it's the least I can do for all he's done for people like Nathan and myself and our little channels.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna pass me up any day now, and I've sent probably just as many people over to watch his show as he sent over to watch our show. People like YJ, hopefully Lamblin, you're a subscriber. I know Joseph is a subscriber. He was just on my show a minute ago. So it's the least I can do. Hey Lamblin, and
Uh, I believe that Keith's books are range in fiction, but that particular one, I don't think he would list as fiction. He would probably list as nonfiction because it's very, very real for him.
Mhm.
It's real for a lot of people.
Yeah, well, it
Right.
is for
I,
me.
I'm gonna judge it by the content and the interesting factor. And I'm not gonna lie. What I can steal from his book to add to my gaming sessions. I like sci-fi, and if I could base my sci-fi games on real stuff, I'm gonna do so. If I'm gonna do it on accident or intentionally, I don't think anyone's gonna notice or be the wiser. But I'm interested to see what his writing style is. I definitely want to pick up at least the first of his novels, and then I'll plug it on my
Yeah,
channel.
nice.
I've listened to him narrate it, and if he writes like he talks, then it should be at least good for some chuckles here and there and some interesting stuff. And I'd like to see how he uses real life to inspire him elsewhere.
A
It,
lot
it
of
sounds
his,
like a lot of fun.
a lot of his, and I never can say this right because I end up stuttering through it. Yagershil or Yggdrasil. His first
Yggdrasil?
Right,
book, yes, yes. His D&D novels
right,
are
right.
amazing, just amazing.
I, I expect nothing less. Lamblin, I don't think I saw what you're talking about. The last word you typed in does not ring a bell. Maybe that's a
It,
typo.
she means Chat GPT.
Okay, okay. That's kind of what I thought. Hey, Storm and Shadow, I didn't get a chance to go to the post office this weekend, but I
I,
definitely have something nice to send you, in addition to what I already sent you. I hope that you'll, do something with it and maybe, uh, you know, uh, show it off what you're done with it. Let's put it that way, because
Yeah.
my son did it, and there's a video of him painting it when he was just a little squeaker, and it's absolutely adorable. Seeing him do the how do they do it in the Peanuts thing with the tongue up like this? You know what I'm talking about in Peanuts? Whenever they
Mhm.
were concentrating, their tongue would stick up out of their mouth. It was, I don't think he actually did that, but it's the same idea, and I like seeing what people do with
Uh, Shadow.
this.
Uh,
Yo,
yeah, Shadow and or Storm and Shadow rather. It's Yelderbach.
Elderbach. Okay, yeah.
Elderbach. Yeah,
It
the way I
sounds like
pronounce the.
Elderbach.
Mhm.
It is written not like that, not in
No,
English.
it's a
But
very interesting book series that he's worked on
mhm.
for many years. But
I'm
yeah,
glad
no
to
kidding,
see it
right, Nathan?
finally. Huh?
Gel, yeah.
Uh, what you said to Joseph, you stopped playing it and started living it, right?
Yeah,
I
really.
actually,
Yeah,
Nathan,
Wolfpack.
hold on, Nathan. I have to correct you on that because he didn't do that. What he did,
What did I
Uh,
say?
Um,
you said
I'm
he
gonna have.
you
I'm
said
gonna.
he stopped playing D&D. Well, he stopped playing D&D and started playing this in real life.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, really. Uh,
This is a real
He
this
can't
Nathan.
is a
tell
real
us
game.
that.
Nathan.
Chat.
It's a real game made by the creators of D&D where you play characters like that. And this was a blast. I love this
Oh
game.
yeah.
But I also too stopped to play it in real life, but in a different way. Not for a big group of people, but a smaller group of people, if that makes any sense. But yeah, um, you know,
Yeah.
uh,
Um,
we we
Nathan.
we're all bringing something.
I'm going to
You
have
know,
Frank go
Headland.
online. I'm going to have Frank pick up the link. If you'll send him one, and he'll show the actual book for R. Keith Andrews
Okay.
in online on live. Okay,
Well, it
we'll
is
do that.
in Facebook
exactly,
Messenger.
Frank.
I sent
Okay.
it to Frank's Facebook Messenger,
Okay, that's how I
so it
got
should
it then.
still be there.
It's the same link.
It should
Okay.
still be there.
Yeah,
Let
Hmm.
me go
he'll
ahead.
drop over and show that book here for a moment.
Okay.
Maybe you could find the. Does he have a link for that? Do you know?
He does not.
He doesn't
His
right now.
No, not right now. Right now, his method of purchasing any books from him is give him get the email address out. He has given me permission to publish his email address in
Okay.
order to buy the book, and
Okay.
message him, and he will give that person payment instructions, and they will uh, figure out shipping and all that stuff
And you
personally.
How's he
can
doing
link
payment,
that.
Nathan?
I used PayPal.
Yeah.
Okay, I hate using PayPal, but I can do that probably the beginning of April sometime. Um,
I'm not sure how he's planning to go live with the website yet, but I know that if you email him and ask for his book, and maybe we can capture the uh, the list of books that he has already and put them in that link, then everyone will be able to see what that is and how to get it.
Yep.
That seems to be the right way to go about it. And
Yeah,
of
I don't.
course, go to his he goes live nearly every day, and
hmm
he goes live every day, and he puts those things out as well.
Hmm.
So, so always,
Right.
you know, if
I'm
his
really bummed this week. My son had spring break, so I couldn't be there for his show. But for a little while, just to come in, hit the like button, say hi to everybody, and then I usually had to hit the road doing, dad stuff or some of my other shows. But he knows that. But I usually can make it for a little while and hang out a little longer, crack a few jokes, and you know, uh, do what I can to help the algorithm thing going on.
right,
But this week was just you know I don't get to spend as much time with my son as I'd like, even though he's here every day, but he doesn't get home till like 5, and then he's in bed by 9, and between homework, shower, dinner, stuff like that. I just wanted to make the most of his last week, and then Friday
Hmm.
he took off for the weekend, and you know left the old man hanging.
that's
Kids,
going to
right?
happen more and more, I'm afraid.
I know. I'm going to say I'm ready, even though it's going to be heartbreaking. But it's years off, so you
You
know.
know, I tell you what, I think it in our times past, kids were pretty much expected to go ahead and make their own way after they left home. But right now, trying to do that is just nigh on impossible.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it
There's
can
no
be
making your
done, but
own
it's
way.
hard. Yeah, and I swear my kid's got an elastic strap on him that brings him back here every time he goes right back out. But
Not
it,
not my boy. He's going to either do college or go right into the service, and you know, he, we'll see. I mean,
good. He has
I always
plans for
joke.
his life.
Yeah, I mean, I joke he's going to meet that first girlfriend, and that's going to screw up all his plans. But I know it's really not that likely. He's pretty driven, pretty focused, and one of these days you guys are going to be having to decide whether you want to vote for him or the other guy for president. So just remember, I told you, um, because that is his goal, and he's on the right path. If he sticks to it, he'll make it.
Well,
At least senator or governor. Just
hey,
hopefully
he has a plan, you know, and
yeah.
the more he learns in college or in service, he'll use all of it. We both know that. Everything you learn in life, you use it all.
Hmm.
Yeah, actually, I want to say that a lot of the stuff I learned in high school, especially like math, after you get to like fractions and percentages and decimals and stuff, yeah, I never did that geometry and algebra stuff. Never needed it, never used it. So, maybe that's just me and I got lucky, but
Uh,
I,
yeah,
the,
I failed
the
it
math that my kid,
miserably. If you
the,
give me
the,
an
the,
apple and an orange, I got fruit salad. That's all there is for me. You know.
the math my son was doing in third grade, I couldn't help him with. It was amazing. He went to some good schools and he made honor roll last week. Not last week, the week before, he made honor roll, which was kind of surprising because the teachers weren't actually posting his grades properly. So we figured he had no chance of that. And sure enough, honor roll. So brand new school, brand new, phase of his life, high school and, JROTC and all the other stuff that he's doing. He's got to be in the
Mhm.
top, 1% of the of yet another school. I don't know how much more blessed I could be because he must be getting it from someone besides me.
Oh, you
Mhm.
must be very proud. I'm sure I can
Pretty
tell
damn
you are.
proud.
Yeah.
Pretty damn proud.
He's
Yeah, he's a good kid. Yeah,
he's
I mean,
got a lot of good things set up for himself. All he has to do is follow the map, you know.
yeah, and maybe tone down, the politics, just a little bit, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a time and a place for it, but not all the time and
No,
every
I
nope,
place.
understand.
nope. I
I
agree. I agree.
excuse myself from all political conversations, all of them. I will not
Mm.
participate in them. It only leads to uh, misunderstandings and anger, and I won't have that in my life.
I
Mm.
get it. I get it. But if you're gonna make that your career and your focus in life, you kind of got to practice what you preach. So for him, that's his gig. It wasn't my gig growing up. I had other things to keep myself busy and occupied with, and hopefully he'll make a lot of good decisions for the people around him. Geometry is just for fun. He's just trying to make me feel again like this big, right? Right, Lamlin? You're just like digging.
That big, huh? Anyway, I don't understand it. I won't pretend to.
Yeah, math has never
Here
been my
you go,
strong
Shadow.
suit.
How's that? Do you have a favorite dodecahedron dice?
Oh,
Yes, you
wait,
do. You
Oh,
hold
you
on.
do.
don't do geometry, huh?
Nathan, I am about to blow. I am about to blow your mind. Hold on a second. Hold on just a second. You asked for it, dude.
Oh.
What do we got? Oh, cool.
Oh, that's amazing. How
That's
fun is
cool.
that?
Awesome.
Oh, put it away
It's a
quick
set.
before Storm she sees it.
Amazon has got this set of 7 dice. Hold on, let me do this right. Oh, Nathan just bailed because he's going to go onto Amazon and order himself some dice.
Last thing I heard was Amazon has got the set and then lag hit.
Oh shucks, he's already seen it. Here we
It's the
go.
whole
Oh
set.
my God.
Okay, the case
He's
the
got
case
this
is
big
the
grin on his
charger.
face.
This is the charger for
Charger.
them.
Okay, I was gonna ask,
Oh,
how do
okay.
you replace the batteries?
You don't. And believe it or not, I think. Hold on, check this crazy stuff out. I almost said a swear. Charging time 2 hours for the set. Okay, with the
Uh-huh.
USB cable. Piece of cake, right? Operating time 6 hours.
Ooh,
Oh, that's good.
wow.
Boy, oh
It's like
boy. I
20.
know what
It's
I'm
like
getting
25
somebody for
bucks.
Christmas.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Get yourself one too. Just because they're fun, unless you're subject to seizures like I used to be. But I saw these, and the thing is, I saw them, and they were advertising for like $4 on some weird, quasi eBay sort of site. And I'm like, $3. Yeah, no, that ain't kosher. There's no way it's $3. So I went to Amazon, paid the $25. They were here the next day. We did a short little video on them. And I mean, for the big old nerd in me, to
I'll
go
have to go.
along with
Well, I hope you're going to get a commission or something from selling that.
nah.
Nah.
Hey,
You probably could if you get affiliated with them and get it on the show.
yeah.
Put it in
Hey,
the
you could get a
storefront there.
sponsor.
But then the Dice
Oh,
Tower,
Oh, that's great. I love that.
first edition.
Marvelous.
First edition. I recognize the cover.
Oh, that's
yep.
terrific.
And you drop the dice in the top of his melon, and they come out here. Just a goof. But they used to go for like over $100. They're now back at GameStop for $50. So if you're playing a regular game, and you're actually doing the things, and rolling the dice, I saw it and I'm like, I don't care what price it was. Tell me it was $500. I'd be like, okay, you take a check, but it wasn't. I got it for a little over 50, but now they're on sale because they're originally like $100, but it lights up. It's I'm a big nerd, compared to some of the other expenses and other things I buy, that some people are not fond of. Um, I had to get it. And it lights up. I mean,
I think that's
I'm
cool.
still a big kid.
Yeah, I like things that sparkle. So
Yeah.
we were talking about crystals earlier, so that works.
Yeah, exactly, Justin. No, I don't get a penny. I get paid in the spreading of happiness.
Well,
What can I say? I'm a
we're
big
going to
dork.
be on everybody's S list if we don't put some sort of link to that.
You lagged
Right?
out. We're going
Gee,
to be
I'm a
on the
creep.
S list unless what?
Unless we put a link to those dice.
The link will be in there after the show.
Okay.
I will find some and I will put it in after the show. And since I saw that Dice Tower coming soon, an MFR4 Dice Tower, I can make
Cool.
my droid. Is already an R2D2 Dice Tower.
Oh,
Oh, you're
okay,
His own
skipping
okay.
Dice
pretty bad.
Tower.
Yeah.
Lag, yeah. But
There's a store in El Paso that specializes in some of the sinister things. And I believe it's a
Mhm.
sinister cauldron. And what's it called, Frank? Do you remember? The dripping cauldron. And they sell coffee, which is, that put them on my hit parade right off the bat. And they have things like oh, dragons and figures of that nature. But they had one of
Cool.
these the dice rollers, and
Mhm.
it was handmade by one of the men that work next door in the uh, automotive area of that strip mall. And I I looked at it and I said, I got to have that for John. And we got it. Boy, that's just been the hit of the party, you know. So getting the sparkling dice, he'll go out of his mind. We'll have to get two
Um,
because Frank will want one.
you can't blame him, can you?
Oh no, not at all.
I mean,
No,
you know,
if he wants
as you
something
get
like
older,
that,
you kind of earn the right to splurge a little on yourself.
yeah.
I'm not
oh
going to
yeah,
say I had like a crappy childhood or anything like that, because that would be a lie. But you know, uh, I've earned the right to treat myself a little once in a while. Too bad
Well,
once in a
you
while
know,
is like every other freaking day these days. Um,
he
it was,
indulges me. If I want something, if we can make it work, I'll have it. Because if he wants something like that, he's got it. He's my gold. He can have what he wants.
Well, that's why you guys are still together. You understand.
25 years.
That's
Yeah.
that's pretty good these days,
Yeah.
compared to, you know.
Yeah, we committed to each other about 25 years ago, and been at it thick and thin, and it's but mostly thin, but that's okay. You know, and I just wish the thin would happen for me, just a little bit more.
Yeah. That speaks to what we were talking about with the crystals linking to each other.
Oh yeah,
Y'all have a quantum link to each other,
oh yeah,
and big time. I mean, I said that in the first hour too, that we have a link to all of our friends and loved ones, friends and family. And I went over a little bit of how that link is put together in the
yeah,
first hour. Some of
right.
it's DNA, some of it's affection, some of it is, I mean, when I say affection, I don't mean romantic, I mean any
No,
affection.
no, it's
Just,
love for
just,
each
just so
other.
everyone knows, because a
Yeah,
lot of people think affection. Oh, it's the porn show. No, no,
no,
no, no. It's not that. It's yeah. People have this. The mainstream talk about the Muggles, right? They're the
Yeah.
one.
if everything has to go that direction, we're missing a good part of what love really is,
Yeah,
and
and
we miss it. And I don't know how many times I've been around in this world. I don't have a clue, but I do know that I have a real strong feeling for not missing love when it presents itself.
right when when something cool happens, know it's happening. Yeah,
Yes,
I have like that's a lot of the live in the moment now because we're here and we're literally building the future as we go,
right.
and that's very important. Yeah, Justin
Yeah.
Thor LP said, "Trust me, dude. If this was the porn show, I would not be watching, and I wouldn't be on it. I would hit
No.
cancel, delete, unsubscribe to myself."
Yeah, really. I wouldn't. That's just not me. That's not who I am.
Yeah,
I like to kid about it,
Well,
but that's about
in
it.
college, I might have done. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You know, I think that there's a thought process that we all need to ditch. It doesn't need to be about sex all the time. It needs to
Mm-mm.
be about real affection, real love,
Yeah,
real decent behavior towards each other. If we are able to gather that back to ourselves along with our power, we will be able to be unstoppable. What's stopping
You
us
know,
is hate, greed, and uh, anger, fear.
fear. Fear is the starting point of all the stuff on the dark side.
Yeah, it is. I think that was one of the biggest truisms of that particular movie.
Hmm. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. You know where I'm going with this.
Oh
Hate
yeah,
leads to suffering,
yeah.
and that's not even original Lucas. That was
No,
taken from Eastern philosophy.
it's true.
well, he
Very
did
true.
get around, but I gotta say, you guys must be having, some sort of influence on me because normally I would have made a whole bunch of like jokes by now, but I didn't. Just saying, thanks, guys.
It resonates with the truth inside you. And that truth is what's important. It isn't all the other stuff. It's what's the truth in our heart.
Yeah,
And we know
and
what it is. We all know. Every one of us knows.
and
Yeah, a
it's
lot of people just can't see it or refuse to see it or
they're
whatever.
trained to not see it. They're put into this box that they have said, this is your box. This is how you do things. And Lynn said it earlier, from school, from our parents, we're trained to think of it. I called it indoctrination, but it's not
Welcome to the
quite
show, Raven.
indoctrination. Hey, Raven.
A lot of it, a lot of that is.
Hello.
Hi, Raven. We're trained to
Hi,
put
Lynn
our
Ann. How are
foot.
you?
I'm great. I hope you are too.
Sorry to interrupt.
Not at all.
Hold on. Let me. Uh, I can't manage from here. Would you hold on, Raven? Shadow, would you look at her mic settings and make sure she's not too loud and all that?
Am I
Because I
loud?
can't do
Yep.
it from here.
Hold on.
She's
She
just
good?
gonna adjust the mic
Now, can you hear me better?
just a
Well,
little.
we don't
Is that
want
better?
you to be too loud.
How about now?
There,
Say something, please.
Right. Okay.
a little bit
Perfect.
higher.
Is
Check
that
1,
better?
2, 3.
Yeah,
I'm
a
not
little bit
hearing it.
higher.
Just a little bit
Okay.
more.
Up a little. Just a little.
Oh, I got it. I got it.
Thanks, man.
How's that? Can you say something, Raven?
Check 1, 2, 3. Is that volume good?
Better or
Yeah,
higher?
I'm hearing just a little bit more.
I think I need to turn the volume up, you guys.
Why is it not?
Okay, check 1,
Nope.
2, 3.
No, we don't want it.
Oh, there
Is
she is.
Make sure automatic mic level is not checked on her settings.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I can't do that.
There we go. How about now?
Okay. Would you?
Raven?
Check 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Check 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I hear her. That's great.
You good?
Is
Okay.
that better, Nathan?
What I was saying was
I can do more.
no, I think we're good.
You can't see my hand. There's no contrast. What am
I don't know.
there?
He says thumbs up. It's good. Okay. We were talking about the training we received from our parents and others from the time we're youngsters, and we somehow don't mature out of that spot, to making our decisions and our thought processes.
I'm
Maybe
trying.
simply maybe simply because we haven't thought about it. That's a lot of it right there. We haven't thought about it. But like the elephant, it's trained to a chain all his life. You take it off, he's not moving. He thinks
Yeah.
he's still chained.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of thought processes today. I've always been this way, or I'm not that way, or no, my parents didn't believe in that, neither do I. And never mind, I never studied, I never researched, I never thought about any part of those thoughts that could bring us to a place where we think independently of others. And that's the goal, to be independent thinker and be able to reach our own potential.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
well,
love that light.
that's some pretty heretical thinking you got going on there. According to some.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the compliment.
Well, we've been conditioned that way. We were conditioned. That's how it was always done in the family,
Oh
and
yeah.
you just and you didn't really.
Well, my old man was pretty far ahead of his time. So I consider myself lucky that I've never been one to run with the crowd or whatever whatever I was told by the nightly news or anything like that. And one of the reasons I do the prepping show is because of him. He told me to always be prepared. And
Well, I
boy, I'm
learned
glad I
that
listened.
living on a farm. You know, we took in our crop. We made sure that we had enough to eat over the winter time and part of the spring until we had our next crop. That's not prepping. That's being prepared. It's not prepping in the context that we're knowing it now. It's
Right.
it's simple survival skills, and a lot
Yeah.
of people don't know them anymore.
Do I have
So
to let
it's
Nathan in? No.
no, we're in. He's there.
No, I set up my device so that it beeps every time somebody wants in, and it beeped. And so I guess I just Pavlovian trained myself to. So much for free thinking,
How do
huh?
I
I'm not
how do I
saying it's
get into
always
the chat room?
attainable. Sorry?
Um, how do I get into the chat room? I don't see a little
Okay,
icon
on
with
the
my
right
name like I
hand side
normally.
of your screen, it should say comments. On the right
Uh-huh.
hand side of your screen, on the right hand side and toward the top, there should be a little flag like symbol that says comments. If you click that, it should bring that
Yeah,
screen up for you.
it is
Did it?
to answer, and so we're loading the chat, and I don't have
She's
a
cutting out
how you have
badly.
a picture and your name next to it. And
I didn't get any of that,
it's not
Raven.
there.
And now you're frozen.
Ooh.
And you've got a funny
I
look on your
can't.
face,
I
like you
can't
just ate a lemon.
type in the chat.
Did you find the comments? Just click
Okay.
on comments.
Okay.
Raven, you're lagging out.
I can't type to them. I can't post anything up and say hello. Hold on. Let's see if this
You're
is better.
lagging out. Your audio is like.
Okay. Is it still doing it now? I had
Not
Facebook
yet.
still open.
That's why.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
It's a little
Yes.
better. Yeah.
Okay, good. I forgot to shut Facebook off. So what I was saying is I have no way of typing into the chat. I can see the chat, but I can't.
I can't type into the chat either.
Okay, that's just common with being on. Okay.
I
right,
think
well.
the only way to get into the chat comment would be to hear it on, or to have YouTube on, and that's gonna overload your.
No. There's a, like I said, there's a, on the right, it should be on the right hand side of your screen.
I
You're
can see
on,
them. I can't
it
answer.
says,
Yeah, we can see them.
oh, there should be a box at the bottom. It says,
There's no box at the bottom.
Yeah, it
there.
should say
That's all I'm saying.
comments.
I'm on comments.
I
It
don't know.
does.
You know what? I'm looking at it
I
in two
can
places.
see the comments.
Yeah, I don't think you can chat
Is it that when
in
you're on here?
when you're not a moderator. I found out when you're not a moderator on StreamYard, you cannot put anything in. If you're on StreamYard, you cannot put anything. You can go to YouTube and chat there, but when you're in the stream,
Yeah,
I'm still learning it, right? And
right.
Okay.
oh,
Yeah,
really?
All right.
I
Yeah.
can't even chat from here.
If you have
I have to go to
separate
YouTube.
device, if you have a separate device,
Okay, gotcha.
you can go to YouTube and then be, yeah, that's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I've
use
never.
Okay.
StreamYard on the phone. StreamYard
Yeah, he just cut out again.
with the keyboard.
Well, hello to everyone in the chat room. I'm not being rude. I just have no way of saying hi. So hello.
Yeah, and me either. Although I will say something to somebody on the chat if they address me.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's the best way, I think. But and then of course we can
There's a-
put a hello Jeanette like that.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the show, Jeanette.
Yes,
So-
thanks for coming over, Jeanette. I see you in other places.
I was having a quantum evening here, I had my ashtray disappear off my desk.
Your
Just
ashtray went away?
yeah, I washed it
It's
out.
just
Your
fine.
your cats are trying to send you a message, Raven. Your cats
Yeah,
are
they
sending
probably
you a
are.
message.
And then it appeared in the kitchen, and I have been in the kitchen. I tore this whole house apart looking for it. And I mean, it's a big ashtray. I mean, it's really heavy. It's not something,
Yeah, it
that the cats
doesn't
would
walk
walk
away
with.
by itself.
I know.
Yeah,
And
it's
weird.
you know
Really
we
weird.
have
Anytime, Jay.
things come.
And then,
Keys will do that here.
yeah,
Somebody will put them down and they walk
Okay,
away.
Raven, quick question. Quick
yeah,
question. Was the ashtray full or empty?
empty,
Was there a
empty.
mess anywhere from it?
No, I had already dumped it and washed it out and put it back on
Oh,
on my
okay.
desk where I put it.
See, I can't now. Well, I was trying to be able to blame it on the cats, but now I'm not sure.
No. And one of the cats that's indoors ended up outside, and I checked the other door to see if maybe the other door off the kitchen was open or a window or something. No, and have no idea. The only one that's open is right here in front of my desk, and I usually let them in and out, but I have no idea. He was freaking out. He was jumping up and banging on the door like, let me in, let me in. He was going crazy. And some other few just miscellaneous things have disappeared yet tonight. And I hear this.
Bad
Speaking of,
case of pixies.
Yeah. Well, there's 3 owls. They triangulated here. I mean, I had one in the front, one off to the side, and one in the back, and they were all hooting at each other. So then I had to get out there and gather up all the little smaller black cats that are out there and make sure that they got inside, because the owls will, run off with them and eat
Oh
them.
yeah,
Yeah,
owls will walk away
ooh,
with them.
yeah, owls will.
so I
They're
wouldn't
birds of
call it
prey.
walking, but yeah. Hey, you know what? I learned something this week that I want to share
What?
with you guys. You guys watch a lot of YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Back and forth, yeah.
Okay. I discovered something today. Well, not today. I'm gonna say Thursday. You know how there's that little bar of like the shorts and it's always like crappy news.
Yeah.
Stuff
Yeah.
you just like I don't care. Just no, not la 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 la. I can't hear you. Well, I found a way to make that go away and replace it with something fantastic.
Do tell.
Look up red pandas. You ever seen a red panda?
No.
It's the cutest thing that has ever existed in all the known galaxies. Absolutely the cutest thing. Big macho guy myself, just freaking melted. Absolutely freaking adorable little critters. And start watching a bunch of those videos until that little bar is nothing but cute animals, coyotes, foxes, squirrels, whatever you like. Just keep watching those little short videos and all those shorts, all those little awful little news bites that are out there just tempted to make you go, oh, well, who's saying what about who? Well, watch
Hmm.
about 10, 15 of those cute animal videos.
Oh yeah, that's
Not
a
only will it make
positive
you,
experience.
It
not only
programs
will it
the
make your
algorithm.
day, not only
Okay.
will it do that, but it'll jam up the algorithm thinking that you're a cat lady or whatever. Not saying
Yeah.
there's anything wrong with being a cat lady, but the algorithm knows, you know what I mean, okay? And it will just fill it with just the cutest crap, the most heartwarming stuff, animal rescues, all that stuff that'll just make all that other stuff just go bye-bye. Not hearing
We're,
you. La
I
la la
guess
la la la. I'm
Isabella
watching Red Panda.
Isabella has called Joseph, so he's going to sign out. Any business all
Sorry,
good
Joe.
evening. Good night, Joe.
Thank you for showing up tonight.
Yes, thanks for
Remember to
coming
try
by.
the gateway video from the CIA. Okay,
Oh
I will
yeah,
have to write
that's
that down.
that was a real
Yeah, that was
thing.
on the Y Files Thursday. Yeah, I saw that. We'll have to talk about that later, Joe, because you know what I think about that guy. I think I have thoughts. I'm just going to say that I have thoughts and opinions on that show. Love the show, but I only trust it about as far as I can throw a red panda. And as you can see, there are no red pandas in my house because I don't
Blessed
live
be to
wherever
you
they
too,
live.
Joe. Red pandas, huh?
Yeah,
I don't
you
think
guys aren't
tossing
smiling
them.
here.
It's no good for your back. I'm telling you.
They're about this big. They're about this
They're
big.
cute.
They're like
I
tiny
know.
little.
Oh my
They're like
God.
little tiny Ewoks, but cuter, and
Oh
they're real.
gosh. That's probably what the Ewoks were based off of. The little bitty
They
pandas.
wish. They
Oh,
wish. Red pandas are my new favorite animal. Oh my God! I saw a video of one standing up. I swear to God, it looked like a human. You know, standing on its hind legs, perfectly arms. You know, it had the perfect human posture, and someone's feeding him a little guy grapes, and he's just grinning from ear to ear. Oh my God!
You're thinking that the guys, when the grapes are gone, the guy is still here. You
And
know?
then it rips his face off. Then it rips his face off. Yeah, I know how that works.
Oh no,
I wrote it down. That's a good idea.
I'm actually very respectful of bears. When I was a kid, and when I say a kid, I mean a little kid. There were still bears in Ohio, and wolves too. And
Nathan, what are you
what?
doing?
I'm not doing anything.
He's not doing
You
anything.
you were
What?
yawning. It's too early for you to be
Oh
yawning. I just
yeah.
got here.
Sorry, it's
But
been a long day.
a rogue, like I say, a rogue bear had torn up part of my parents' farm, and it was pretty frightening. It really was.
Yeah.
So I have a
Yeah, you
good
know,
a
I
good
respect bears
understanding to
so
leave
much.
them alone.
I respect bears so much. I live in California. That's as far away from them as I can get.
Yes. You wanna say hi?
Well, I what I suspect happened. There was when I was a kid. It was still very. There's a cat tail on my face.
Yes.
Anyway, that as a little kid,
Be good, Shadow. Be good.
that
Be
bear
good.
was
Be
good
good. Be
size.
good.
He was huge, and I had seen him out the bedroom window. I was supposed to be in bed, so I was out roaming around like kids do. And I saw that, and I went, "God, Dad,"
No, no, no. Sorry. I can't throw them because they're not here. If they were here, I would be like, I would have one under each arm, and I would just be, hugging them to death. Seriously, I
Sounds
thought it
like
was fake.
bowling for bears.
I
They're
honestly
real.
thought it was fake,
You're on
and they're not
camera.
even bears. That's that makes them even cuddlier because if they're bears, they would eat your face while you were sleeping.
Oh yeah,
But these little
easily.
guys, I don't know what they are. Some sort of marmoset or something like that. But
I don't know what they are, but I think they're pouched, aren't they?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
Marmosets. Yeah, you said it. Yeah. I have no clue. I know that pandas are they're mammals, but I don't think they're part of the marmoset groups.
No, but they're pretty scary. I wouldn't. Yeah,
They're
they're
still
deceptively.
bears.
Yeah, YJ Overlander is saying I grew up in the Great Bear Rainforest, and we would have grizzlies in the yard all the time. We had riverfront
Oh my God.
property, and they'd be out there fishing. Yeah, that makes sense.
Grizzlies
Wow.
are scary.
You do not mess with those. You let them go their
No.
way.
Well, unless it's inside my front door, in which case,
I'm gonna run anyway.
I would be moving. I would be moving. I would be moving.
Yes.
Sorry.
Y'all know my bear encounter,
Yeah,
right?
majestic, sure.
I don't think
Yeah.
I do. I don't think I heard
Oh,
that.
Okay, I
Well, go
didn't
ahead.
realize
Take
it
your
was
show,
a
Nathan.
okay. I didn't realize it was a bear encounter until the next day. But I was in Colorado and I was staying in an RV, and I had a car parked next to the RV and then the house, so one car length away. And RV has no water, and I had to use the bathroom. So I walked outside. I had to pee, and I heard all the brush getting broken down and it's pitch black. There's no lights, right? It is pitch black. All I had was the light coming from the RV window, and it was like up here. And my monkey brain turned on and said, nope, and went right back into the RV. Turns out the next, I thought, now what I heard was I thought it was across the yard about 30 feet. Turns out it was on the porch about 8 feet away.
Oh,
And
goodness.
the crunching was, it was after the bird feeder that was just
Oh,
full.
shit.
And she saw me and fell down into the bushes.
Uh-oh.
Goofy's gone.
He'll be back in a second. There he is.
Okay.
There you go.
Uh-huh.
And what I heard was the crunching was she fell into the bushes underneath the deck and she was recovering. That's what I was hearing. 7 or 8 feet away, one car
my
whipped
God.
from me. And
Oh,
my
wow.
monkey brain saved me that day. And it was a
Yeah,
black mama
Yeah.
bear with
you didn't have to pee anymore. I know that.
With cubs.
They might have been.
Wow.
I am neither going to confirm nor deny that statement. Draw your own conclusion.
You know what, Nathan? I would definitely just deny it.
It
Just say
never
it.
happened. Never happened. that was I found out the next day it was a black bear with mama. It was a mama black bear with cubs in the area.
Oh my
And
God.
my monkey brain really saved me that night.
It did because mamas
Yeah,
with
and I
babies do
also
not
learned
play
that I
games.
have a 42-ounce bladder because all I had to use was a big gulp cup, a 42-ounce big gulp. That side of the RV was off limits. That was bare. I went to the other side and dumped it out the window.
There you go.
And yeah, hooray, Kegels, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, his hands are red. I think his face probably is too.
That's funny.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know,
thank him.
I love you guys.
I've got almost in the chat. YJ is
Bless
talking
you.
about once he pushed a black bear down the road with a Trans Am, bumping his butt to get him moving. He didn't want to move, but finally he did. Didn't hurt him, but he definitely needed to get the message. Trans Am versus bear, that's a tough call. But since neither one of them was starting a fight, good job, YJ. That's awesome. And Jeanette
Yeah,
says
yeah.
the animals we see
Terry.
here.
Terry's here.
Considering
Hey, Terry.
considering that it's Trans Am has fiberglass, and there's nothing
Yeah,
between you and that
Yeah,
old bear.
yeah.
I'd
It's
rather be the bear in that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
mm,
if I had to take a bet on somebody on that, and the bear would win. You know.
yeah. If the bear in with that RV was not so single-mindedly dealing with a bird feeder, that RV wouldn't have. It click open handle, and I was like, oh man, this one had. I think it had a bar, so I put the bar
Uh-huh.
down real quick. But Jeanette is saying, wow, the animals we see here are red fox and hedgehogs where I live. Yeah,
Well,
I got a lot of wildlife where I live. That was in
yeah, I
Colorado.
do too.
Yeah, there's
I live on sort of the outskirts of Cruces, and we get visited by little gray desert foxes quite often,
Yeah.
and
The only wildlife
and
we get are homeless and crackheads. So
oh well, yeah, there's some of that too. They set uh, a field on fire near their encampment last night,
mm,
and the only reason I know about it is my ex was over at the the VFW doing karaoke, and he came home and he goes, "Those damn fools are trying to burn down my club." You know, I don't understand that, but here we are. You know, but they are. I don't know how it is in other places, but you know, I leave the animals do the animal thing because rabies are a real thing. So is plague down here,
Yeah,
and
bubonic
han-
plague.
yeah, hantavirus.
Serious?
Yeah, El
Yeah,
Paso has
really.
a virology department in the University of Texas El Paso, and it
Yeah,
is very successful because of their study of bubonic plague. That's where the latest data has been coming in because of South America.
yeah, yeah. The
Mm.
plague is a real problem. The prairie dogs get plague. The darndest
Hmm.
thing. Um,
Wow.
yeah, it seems to be in this area in Texas, the desert areas, but you don't mess with the animal life here at all. You leave them
Mm-mm.
alone.
Yeah,
You know, of
yeah.
course, we have rattlesnakes and sidewinders and things like that too.
Yes, same
Is
here.
it
I wouldn't mess with them either.
is it my fleas?
Uh-uh.
It is
No, they
just a
want to
little
play.
bit.
Is
Go ahead.
Sorry, say again.
I was asking if it's still transmitted from flea bites. At one time they
Yeah,
said that's
yeah. That's actually its main way of being carried, but you get those flea bites because you're messing with the animals. You know, leave
well,
them alone. Uh,
yeah.
there's tick problems here, like there is anywhere else, and the thing is that with our heat being as hot as it is down here, we a lot of things like ticks and flies, mosquitoes. Certain times of our year, the heat literally kills them. You
Yeah.
know, they
Right.
dehydrate and they explode. You know, but the mosquitoes carry the West Nile virus down here, and of course, hantavirus is desert rodents and uh, certain types of that kind of wildlife, gophers and buck-toothed creatures. You know,
So, have you seen a chupacabra?
chupacabra is a myth down here. We'll call it a myth. I've never seen one, although I have talked to people in this area that have seen them and are scared silly of them. So, you know, how reliable that is, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But
Body of them.
chupacabra seem to be more interested in goats and small creatures,
Livestock.
livestock.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that can also be attributed to coyotes, though. Now, this area is still very wild, and
Hmm.
in spite of, I live in the second largest city in New Mexico. There's 100,000 people here. That's not a lot of people. You know,
No,
it
it's
really
not.
isn't.
It's
And
not.
you know, so in comparison to Albuquerque and Santa Fe, it's quite small. But
Yeah.
Santa Fe actually is smaller, although it's seat of government here. The chupacabra I know very little about. I don't know if Frank knows more. Do you know more about chupacabra or not really?
The thing with a chupacabra versus a coyote wouldn't leave the meat, and
Sorry,
the chu-
Frank says we have
what he say?
Chihuahua. We have a Chihuahua critter that lives here. You know, Chihuahua. She thinks she's a
The
bigger
chupacabra
animal
just
than she
drains
is.
the blood.
we just call her
animal.
Chupa Wawa,
Terry, you know what? We have that here in Tennessee. You have to be very careful in the creeks and river chutes, the little pieces of river that are.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's
gosh.
something.
Water in the
That's
nose will
something we
get
have.
you dead in 24 hours. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we have
yeah.
that too. We have
It's
Brain
here.
eating amoeba.
yeah,
Oh,
we have brain amoebas. We have flesh-eating bacteria. This is in Tennessee, right? We have um, we even have. Now, I think they came from somewhere else, but the things that swim up the urethra, we have those.
Oh, those are from South America.
It's into. I think they came from somewhere else though.
Yeah,
They're not.
oh
They're
my
not
God.
native.
In fresh
yeah. We
water?
we have
Wow.
that here too. We have it here too, though.
Yeah,
You take your life in your hands if you swim in our river. Of course, it's a Rio Grande, but would interest you to realize that the river tends to get a lot of wastewater in it, and I think that's got a
yeah,
lot to do with it.
yeah. It's a
There for
breeding
a while
ground.
they thought that COVID was coming down the river down here, the Rio Grande. So there was a lot of misinformation floating around at that time.
Yeah,
But you can get some of those bacteria and amoebas and that stuff even from a swimming pool if it's
Yeah.
not chlorinated appropriately.
or filtered enough.
Just when you
Exactly.
thought it was safe to go back into the water, right? What was
Right.
it, Florida?
Really.
What
Um,
do you know?
you know,
Oh,
El
here.
Paso has had a big problem here recently where the immigrants are literally coming up through the drains and
No.
through the sewers. Yeah, and they've caused problems because eventually somebody's not going to make a good trip
Yeah.
and get get killed or seriously harmed down there. And rescuing
How
them,
horrific. I mean, you've got to be desperate. So
yeah, it's
desperate
very
to do
desperate.
something
Yeah,
like that.
it is.
Wow. That's just
It's
horrible.
there's no real planning down here for that. Not much. There's some, and but it's for every one person they catch, I wouldn't be surprised if there weren't 100 more that get across. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know the answer to any of those things. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know these these diseases and those things are coming by way of foodstuffs. They're coming by way of imports, and you can't get them all. There's no way. They do a fairly decent job of it, with the border crossings for ships and that sort of thing. But it's still there. So it's one of the reasons why things are quarantined at our borders the way it is. Now, people would try to bring bologna and other foodstuffs across the border, and that's not allowed.
Oh, I didn't
Simply
know
for
that.
that reason, things people could get sick from them. There's
Mm-hmm.
not the same amount of overseeing that's done here.
Brain eating amoebas. Oh, God.
Yes,
I'm going to have
just
nightmares about that. Thanks,
had a
Terry.
youngster die from that. We had
Oh,
a
Yeah, thanks for
youngster in this
sharing.
area die from it.
Thanks for
Gee
sharing.
whiz, uh, a few months ago. It's not like people are dropping dead from it all the time, but the risk is there.
mm-hmm.
So
God, I didn't even thought
anyway,
of something like that. Wow.
well, life is real. Nothing's more real than sickness and death.
And brain eating amoebas.
Yeah,
Wow.
and that's real. That's very real. And Florida's having their problems with that as well. So I don't know the answer to these things. I think my abilities are far smaller than that. So I think Nathan's raiding a coffee pot. Didn't bring
Yeah,
any for
def-
me.
that'd be a neat trick. That'd be a neat trick.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it? I got a nice surprise this week that made me happy.
What was
My
that?
friend is going to give me a bag of peppermint mocha coffee.
Oh, that sounds good.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
Frank,
Starbucks.
you beat me to it, Frank. You beat me to it.
Yeah, yeah, they may be an ongoing problem in Washington. Maybe that's been part of the
You know,
problem
that would
right along.
explain the last 2 years perfectly.
Oh, I think the last 20 would work for me very well. So, anyway, regardless of who's doing it. Jeez. Anyhow, what has been new and exciting in your end of the world, Raven? What's fun with you?
Oh, it was just a busy week. Busy radio week. Um, I just I've slept all day yesterday and most of the day today trying to get caught up from sleep because I would only get like from Monday to Thursday maybe 2 hours of sleep a night, and so I've just
Yeah.
caught up on sleep. Just a very busy week on radio.
You
It was a
know,
good
I
week.
think that's going around. I really do. You know, I go to bed, I go to sleep, but it's just a lot of noise in my head. I have no idea what that is.
There's a lot of communication going on. Just lots of messages, lots of emails and
Yeah.
technical stuff going on. I can't get into my Hotmail account. Here, I created a new email account just for a certain faction of work that I'm doing, and I can't log into it. I even bookmarked it, and it's Microsoft bought out Hotmail
Hmm.
or something.
You think it might have got hacked?
Log back in. I,
You're cutting
I
out
can't
pretty
even get to it,
bad.
and I can't even get to it.
Yeah.
It just keeps taking me back to an Outlook page, which I don't have an Outlook email, but it says I do, and then I have no messages in there, and it's like, yes, I do have messages, and it's Hotmail. So anyway, it's just this. I worked on it this morning. Nathan and I were going to try to practice some StreamYard for me to get some practice in. I can't get logged into StreamYard because all that information is in the Hotmail account, and I can't get into my Hotmail account, which
Oh
is crazy.
boy.
So
I had to get coffee.
this morning, I was not a happy
We
camper,
know.
and
Yeah, we
We
know.
know.
seems like the
Okay.
Hey, Nathan,
Hey,
show us the shirt.
Da da da. Okay. Oh, that's
Iron
right.
nice.
Mando, Mandalorian. Space is
Cool.
high.
cool.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, really.
I saw
Cool.
it online and I
Oh,
was like, yeah, I want that one.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
looking at your
I got one.
coat, and I
they
think I see what Lamb was talking about with the the light has just tricked a little bit so that it looks like something of a mask.
Oh, you're talking
Your
about,
coat. Yeah, the coat.
okay.
I
You
see
got the
what
Wookiee
she's
covered up.
talking about.
Yeah, the Wookiee, I've got so much stuff on here and I had to change the angle. So I was like, you were looking at me like this before, and now it's more from the top down.
Yeah.
It was just a better angle, and it just seems to work a little better. Though now that you say it, I might hang the Wookiee up over here again just to have him up there.
You gotta
Give
have a
him a special
mascot, man.
place.
That's I looked at it twice and said, "Oh, that's what she's saying." I'm not very good at those pictures that you have to stare at before you see the picture.
Oh yeah,
I don't
yeah.
see them.
Yeah, me
My
neither.
mind doesn't work that
The
way.
little magic eye, the magic stuff where there's some kind of a pattern and
Yeah,
you're like, you stare at it long
Yeah.
enough and you'll see what's there. I can't see it either.
no, I don't see it.
I've never been
Most
able
of the
to.
time I don't.
It's just part of my brain doesn't work, amongst others. You know, but
Oh, here's something.
yeah.
They think they have secured some DNA of Dogman, and
Oh,
that
Ah,
really?
Jeff Meldrum of I think he's actually a doctor, but he's a professor at Idaho State University. He's the one that's
yeah.
the first academics who really take up Bigfoot seriously, and he's been really researching Bigfoot. Well, somebody brought him some Dogman hair, I think it was. Do you remember, Nathan? Did you get a chance to watch that video?
Um,
Anyway,
I watch it. I can't remember. I
I think
can't
it's
remember.
a
I've
hair
watched a
sample.
lot of stuff.
I know, me too. It's hard to keep track of it, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
a lot of things like that got pretty much shoved to the side. With the inability to look at them honestly and with an unjaded eye. And I think we're starting to get some of the real evidence, like DNA evidence and hairs and scat and so forth, that might lead us better to the truth of the thing. What we're
Yeah.
really what we're really looking at there.
So
Yeah,
they're
along
the
those
lab.
lines, yeah,
Mhm.
along those lines, the scientific community has opened their mind to it more because there's so much trace evidence that, and also, I think just like in times of yore, right, the
Uh huh.
environment has been changing. Our
Yeah.
environment has been changing and it's been more prevalent. Like, I will give the example. We were talking about Christianity before everybody showed up, right? And we were
Right.
talking about certain belief systems. Well, in the Old Testament, there were demons running the streets, and they were terrorizing people on a regular basis. And if you follow any of the links of the old shows, you got Alex Calvo. His family were monster hunters of the church,
Mhm.
and that was all real, right? Why did they go away? It wasn't a misinformation. How do you mistake anything for golems of flesh and iron? What did we? There's no way, right?
Yeah. Right.
And
Well, and
I think
you
that,
know,
yeah, I think, mhm,
I think too that a lot of times that people didn't have the information we do now. We know a
right,
lot about how other cultures dress and behave, and at that time there was only your village experience. That was it. There wasn't anything else.
right.
And
Yeah,
But
most
what
people
could
didn't
we have
travel
rarely,
very
mistaken
far.
for? Yeah, but what in the world could we have mistaken for golems of flesh and iron?
I don't
I
well,
know,
would like to
robot.
know what culture, what creature, what could that have been mistaken for?
well,
Okay,
I've heard people
I
say
can't
that.
think of anything.
Yeah,
Huh?
I've heard people say, well, maybe these were unfortunates of birth. There, and we've seen this in our own culture where people were born with maybe one arm or a disfigured face or so on and so forth.
Hmm.
Uh, at that time, if someone had a child that was not whole, so to speak, they left him in the forest. They left him on the hillside. They did
Yeah.
not attempt to try to keep them going because, well, the family couldn't afford to. There was no such thing as any medical help for them.
Right.
So perhaps some of them went feral. It's a possibility. I don't know. I don't think it's very much a probability because how in the heck would they have survived in the forest as an infant? It's just not possible. Very few
Not yeah.
people have ever done that. But and then you'll hear about somebody who was found as a feral child that related to wolves. Where a wolf had taken the child in rather than eat him. So, but it
Yeah,
seems
that
unlikely.
yeah. I think
Sorry.
there's only like four. I think there's only like 4 or 5 actual cases of anything like that ever happening.
Right,
But you know
right.
how people
It
talk.
certainly wouldn't be running in the streets, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Certainly wouldn't be. So that seems kind of far fetched to me. Um, I also know there's such a thing as dress up as monsters and take over a
sure,
town. To scare them to
sure.
death, they would do exactly what they were told. They could get robbed and what have you. So I
Yeah,
think
that sounds more
Okay.
likely too.
that's more
Yeah,
logical.
but this is in Old Testament. This is what
Yeah,
I'm quoting from,
Yeah.
and there was a lot. I think the environment changed. I just think the entire environment changed to where those things could exist here, but now they can't for some reason. I've been saying this, I've been maintaining this for years, and we're
We've been
noticing now with all the cryptids and UFO sightings and all the weird stuff that yes, humanity is changing to be able to perceive those things, but those things are more able to manifest in our environment somehow. Like to me, it's like the veil is getting thin. To put it in that
That's
kind
what I
of
said.
terminology,
Yeah, I would
I'm
okay?
seeing that
agree.
more
Mm-hmm.
so. Yeah. Um,
Right.
I'm more looking at it from a standpoint that we're discovering now that Neanderthal and Denisarian and some of those cultures lived while human beings did. And they were very different people than modern human. And I'm wondering if some of them didn't survive. However unlikely, but maybe pockets of them did for a certain length of time.
Hmm.
It's certainly
Yeah.
a thought process.
No,
Especially,
it was the environment.
you're talking Old Testament. We're talking about ancient history,
Right.
ancient
Literally
history.
before Stone Age.
Well, maybe I don't know before Stone Age, but the nomadic tribes in that developed.
Yeah.
One of the Bible's stories was to come into the promised land and destroy those who lived here, the giants who lived here. We
Yeah.
never found those skeletons.
I would
Not
agree too.
Recently,
officially.
we are
Yeah, I
finding
was gonna
them.
say, Smithsonian found all of them.
Oh, they found them all right.
Oh,
They just
I can
suppressed
update
it.
that. I can
Yeah,
Yeah.
update that.
lately.
Ohio and Illinois have mounds, and
Uh huh.
they're been declared state park, federal park, and you are not allowed to dig there.
That's right.
Yep. Exactly.
Ohio has a
I live
mound.
about
Yeah. This
the
has
majority
been
of the
a
giants have been found in Ohio thus far.
Yeah.
The number
yeah.
of skeletons, and almost all of them did go to the Smithsonian because that's who they thought to call, and who knew that they were going to disappear as soon as that evidence was taken in.
Right.
But there are
But
newspaper articles going way back to the 1800s, and these were from they usually called the local doctor first, and then it was the doctor then that would contact the Smithsonian and say, hey, I got this, whatever. But
Hmm.
copies of letters, there's copies of newspaper articles and so forth, and
Articles.
yeah,
And even those are getting harder and harder to find.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're wanting
Right.
to. There's
Why? I don't
some
get.
history because it doesn't fit in
Yeah,
with their whole thing with
If it
evolution
doesn't fit into what they believe, at that
protocol. They
time,
still
years
have
and years and
activities.
years ago, they would just get rid of
yeah.
it as this is impossible. This is some sort of
Fairy
scam
tale.
or fairy tale. And we're finding out
Mm-hmm.
now, that these other cultures and other beings existed, and they were very real and they were very
They
dangerous
do.
people. Yes.
They do have some skeletons, some skulls at that came out of the Lovelock Cave out of Nevada. They
Right.
have
Lovelock.
them.
I was just thinking Lovelock. That's that quantum link
Right.
working.
Right. Me too.
Yeah, yeah. They have a couple skulls, and they have the double rows of teeth. But to look at them, you don't really notice anything different until you see a normal human-sized skull right next to it. Then you
Right.
really get when you can compare the two. And there's a lot of bone in the chin down here is much longer. Like I said, it's got the double rows of teeth. The eye sockets are a bit bigger. But then when you go into South America, you have the skulls with the elongated head. And
Right.
for the naysayers that try to say that that's cradle boarding, not so. The cradle
Yeah,
There
it's a
are
boarded,
little
clear
horse.
examples.
Well, their
we have three
Wendy is
sutures.
rounded in the back as they are if it was cradle boarding.
Oh,
There are
yeah.
clear
And
examples of
it would not,
boarding.
yeah, it would not change the number of sutures. These skulls that are the alien skulls only have two. Their parietal plate comes down in front. You know how like ours comes down
Uh
and
huh.
like in an X. Okay,
Right.
there's
Right.
just a front, like a front half and a back half. And there's two extra holes back here where I assume some veins must go to the brain.
Or
And so,
something, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Something different
but
though
they are
about the physiology.
truly, they are alien skulls. Hi, you're an alien too. Here, everybody. Oh shit! Don't fight on me. Go, 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 go with you.
No shedding.
Anyway,
Anyway.
this Dr. Meldrum that has received this evidence of Dogman has now been the target of a bunch of different groups that are really trying to drag him through the coals. And I've
Yeah.
never understood why the Bigfoot community is so divided anyway.
I
I
don't
mean,
understand why there's this either, unless they're trying desperately to conceal something, good, bad, or indifferent.
yeah, I
I
don't know. And there are certain people that have said there are plants of persons that are specifically for disinformation and to try to steal everyone. And see, Sasquatch is a whole nother thing that they should be talking about, but they don't. And the government knows about them. There's been people in the service that
Oh,
have
yeah.
come.
The government definitely knows about them. You can
Oh
hear
yeah,
lots
I
of
mean,
stories.
there's a reason why the entire UFO topic is so incredibly classified as to be, top of the list of the most classified information in existence. There's a reason.
Secret space program.
information is power, and we want to keep power.
Well, it's a little more complicated than that. I think, were the mass of the population to suddenly find out stuff like that was true, it would change everything. The quest to go out there would be unstoppable.
Well, they
Yeah.
said
The big corporations out there would all turn their eyes skyward as opposed to looking deep inside the earth for the next big find. They'd be out mining asteroids and things like that, and before you know it, the governments of the earth would have no control over any of that.
well, I
Or
argue they
Yeah.
probably
yeah,
already are. What was it? That
that
article, Nathan? It was Rolls-Royce was putting a nuclear reactor
On the
proposed
moon. On
on the
on
moon.
Mars. Oh
On
no,
the moon.
on the moon. Yeah, we were talking about that.
Yeah,
What is the point?
yeah.
What is the point of putting a nuclear
Rolls-Royce.
reactor anywhere? Because here, let me tell you about the moon, right? Sunlight. Imagine the brightest day, the brightest, clearest day. And now imagine that 80% brighter, almost double brightness. You wouldn't be able to see. That's the sunlight on the moon. That's why they have all the fancy shielding. And the gold
Mhm.
is
The
to
gold.
reflect
Yeah.
infrared. Okay, a lot of people don't realize that the gold visors over the ones that they can retract easily, that's for the infrared spectrum. It reflects the infrared that will basically, if you're outside of Earth's atmosphere, it will burn your eyes out, let alone the white light coming in. Sunlight is 80% brighter. Now, why do I say that? Because all you need is the cheapest, crappiest solar cell, and it becomes 80% more effective, give or take, on the moon. Okay? Like solar cells here, we know how they work, and it takes a whole roof full to get like 2 hours worth of power. Okay? On the moon, it's 80% more light. And then you got the heat too. And you can also use that for geothermal conversion. And you can gather all the power you need and then get those solar cells that are specific for infrared. And you got massive amounts of power, all from native sunlight on the moon outside of Earth's atmosphere. We
So
don't
why
need,
So why would you
go
need a
ahead.
nuclear reactor up there? Why
exactly
would
my
we
That's
need
it.
to
question?
do that?
Yeah, nuclear, why? To generate electricity? That is not
No,
a, that is nil. That is nil. There's some
it's
other, if they're doing it, there's
weaponization.
a covert reason why.
Yeah,
But
That's what I was thinking.
weaponization. There's only one reason.
What's that?
That could be the only reason. I
go ahead
can't
and say the
see.
reason again.
I say weaponization.
Right. Because the kind of power, now think of a household. Yeah, we like our washer, dryer, and stuff, and we like our refrigerator, and we like our power on demand.
You just cut out, Nathan.
Okay, are we back?
Yes.
The solar can do that without any help whatsoever,
Uh,
as long as you have mid
about
grade
Japan
solar cells.
and
Mid grade, because
this
you have so
that
much.
has witnessing UFOs for a long, long time.
Okay,
Nathan, are you?
oh,
There you go. I
I'm
can see
here.
now.
I think she's lagging pretty
Did I-
good. Oh dear.
Oh, now you went
We're
away.
really
I'm just
skipping
gonna
here.
type it.
Wow. We
Let's
must
just
be hitting
skip
a lot
it.
of hot buttons tonight.
I think we are. I think the powers that be don't like these conversations.
Probably not. All right, I'm going to get. I'm going to jump off here for a minute and grab a an article. Nathan, I'll be able to, if I go into YouTube, can I post the article here in the chat then?
No.
And then I can
If
bounce
you
back
go,
over?
you can post it to YouTube. Yes, and it'll come here.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, I'll be back. How do I do this?
Open
I
a
can't
new
see that.
tab. Just open a new tab.
Okay.
I'm going to be about 2 minutes. I will be back.
Okay. All right. And we're here. People are occupied. Here we are. So
Okay.
in the first hour, I updated. Yeah. In the first hour, I updated about. I'm going to be doing an interview with the psychic shoe store lady. That's going to be interesting. I probably won't be live. It probably will be recorded, and that's okay too.
Yeah. So,
So
we tell them what happened when we were talking on the phone Monday, and what we were talking
what
about.
what
Remember
happened?
how everything
So much happens, huh?
Remember we
What
were talking
happened?
about the person in the White House and how the phones started to go berserkos when we were on the phone Monday? And you told me to write it down, and I did. That was, and so I know exactly when it was. It was Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember?
Tell the story. I've had quite a bit. I've slept since then, Raven.
Okay. All right. So we were talking about our president, and I was wondering when his birthday was because I wanted to run the astrology on him. And
Mm-hmm.
and we've been talking about him, and I can't remember something, but anyway, we're complaining about Washington. Basically, we were talking about him, and I was curious to see if what his astrological sign was. Well, anyway, I'm like, do you know when his birthday is? Do you know what sign he is, or anything? Blah blah blah. A lot of the American presidents have had Leo somewhere prominent in their chart. I noticed, and I think Obama was a Leo. But anyway, so what happened was all of a sudden the phone started clicking really funny, and if you've ever talked with somebody on a walkie-talkie when they just get on the edge
I
out of
remember.
range, and it was just clacking and sputtering and making this
Yeah.
weird sound, and it sounded like remember the old rotary phones when somebody would pick up the phone in the other room and you'd hear that little hello. Okay, that happened, and I'm like, oh, we've said something and got ourselves being
Yeah.
being recorded for sure.
Yeah. Ever since our Black Ops show, that has been happening.
Mm-hmm.
We're definitely on the radar. You heard it
Oh,
here. The Quantum Show is on the radar of the FBI and the CIA. Cheers.
and everybody else too.
Yes, I had talked about Monsanto one time after a show on 1-2 Radio, and it was just now some people would write this off to coincidence, but I don't believe in coincidence. And I happened to, this was on a Friday, back when the show used to be on Friday, and I woke up really early in the morning, and it was somebody had control of my computer. The computer was right there in front of me, and I was watching this, and I was watching somebody going through my pictures, and I'm like, oh my god, here's my mouse, I'm not touching it, there's no cat on it, and I'm watching somebody going through my pictures,
Mm-hmm.
scrolling right through, and it was like some ungodly hour of the morning, and I just sat there, and I'm like, I didn't know what to do. I just didn't know what to do. So
we
I
had
just kind
it
of watched it.
when
For
we were on Hazy. We had it.
after I figured it out.
They couldn't get through Frank's security system, which really ticked them off. They tried for months to break it, and Frank's a very intelligent person where computers are concerned.
About this.
But
This is something we're not supposed to be talking about.
yeah, we see us
Yeah, I
blacking
don't
out
remember
here and
that
there.
part of the Constitution. You'll have to refresh my memory. I don't remember that being in the Constitution.
What?
That there's anything we're not allowed to talk about.
Yeah.
I seem to
yeah,
remember being allowed to
that's
talk
just,
about anything.
we're in the public. And oh my God, I'm so glad this is going to be on Rumble because I have a feeling YouTube is going to go after the show, but it will go to Rumble.
Well, you know, as long as people's agenda and reputations and that sort of thing are more important than the truth is, we're going to have these problems.
Yeah. We're going to have to
And
deal with it.
yeah, and it's getting worse. It's not just here. I mean, across the globe it is this bad and worse in places.
Yeah.
At least
Yeah,
we're not
it's,
getting yanked out of our beds and being put in jail for what our opinions yet.
Yeah.
You know?
Korea, Taiwan,
Yeah, exactly.
Canada. Oh my God, Canada.
UK, Ireland, Canada. Yeah. Pretty much everywhere now.
Yeah.
Lagged
So
right at
enjoy it while we
as I
got
said,
it.
I didn't get
Sorry.
it.
I said
I said-
enjoy it while we have it.
Yeah. I said Canada and the thing cut out.
Uh-huh. Exactly. See, and you went bye-bye. Wow. Are
Guessed
you
it.
still with us there, Shadow? I still see you.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. The uh the more controversial the subject matter or the more money that is involved in it, you know,
Yeah.
it seems to kick around our ability to chat it up about it a lot. And it was that way 10 years ago when we were doing Hazy. No, they
Yeah,
were harassing us this way.
I
And it
noticed it,
it was
and
somebody, not something.
yeah, I noticed it 10 years ago. I was around for Rich Giordano's other show, AZ UFO show, and seeing UFOs.
Yeah.
He was getting harassed. He had people following big
Well,
cameras 10, 20 years ago. He was getting, and he still doesn't know who those people are.
yeah. Well, we were
His
getting
I'm sure he
stories,
does.
followed. We
well,
had
Sure he
we
does.
had people on from MUFON, Texas MUFON, and we were getting followed,
hmm
you know. And not just from that show, I'm sure, but there was a number of that having Keith on our show
hmm
got us noticed as well.
And Joe.
yeah, you know what? All these people have official links. I don't have any official links. Even if I was in the military, I don't have any official links. My stuff is all quantum, and they don't want me doing that either. But I'm
Right.
kind of low on the radar because I'm inexperienced. I only have the remote viewing book, and I don't do that particular thing. And they haven't caught me out there yet.
Yeah. Well, they're very interested in extra abilities, whether it's manifesting or psychic viewing or any of those things. They say, you know, their official stance is they don't believe in it, but they have whole departments dedicated to it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That
They
doesn't
do.
sound like an unbeliever to me.
No, it sounds like an investor.
Yeah, exactly. Investigation.
Oh, no. Investor. Like someone who
Hmm.
has put money into it. They want
Well,
their
Precisely.
yeah,
stuff to work.
it's called John Q. Public and every taxpayer in the country.
Yeah.
Well, that, but
Uh-huh.
you got to understand that if the government's interested, who sponsors the government? You know, they should have sponsorship uh,
Well,
jackets so
again,
we know
it's John
who's
Q. Public.
paying
It's
them.
you and me. We're
Yeah.
sponsoring them. The money goes into a black budget and never gets seen again.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
they hide behind the veil of military security. I'm like,
National security.
Hammers
yeah,
and toilet seats. That's how
exactly.
they're accounting for them. You know,
Yep.
it's just it's astounding.
Well, now they got this even bigger uh, catch-all being Ukraine.
Yeah. Now, how much of
That
that's actually reaching them, and how much is going in a pocket somewhere?
as
Yeah.
much as they want, and there's not a damn thing we
Exactly.
can do about it.
Precisely. Which is
David
why I just
Adair.
don't.
David
Sorry.
Adair. There he is. I know y'all have all heard of him, but that just it clicked. David Adair has been on his channel. He is the one that when he was 14 or 15, he built a small, very small scale atom smasher or nuclear reactor in his backyard.
Oh, the
And
Boy Scout.
that guy, that guy,
Okay,
Mhm.
yeah, I remember him.
yeah, he is working on uh, many systems to do with space and energy. And he's working with the Saudi Arabians. And
Ooh.
okay, in public, we are uneasy allies. Behind closed doors, we are right in bed with them
Oh yeah.
because, oh, yeah, behind closed doors, we are wrapped up real tight with the Middle East.
Well, we almost have to be with the gasoline and
Well,
oil appetite we
actually,
have.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we've been doing a lot to irritate every faction over there possible in the last 2 weeks. We have
Oh
That's
yeah,
in
really pissed.
public.
yeah.
That's
That's
the
in
public
public.
eye.
Yeah.
That's the public eye. The scientific front, okay, those guys are not in the public eye, and they don't want, and no one wants them in the public eye. They're boring
Well, I
for
do.
news. They make bad news pieces, and they're doing some really weird science. Okay, he's talking about harvesting harvesting power from outside the atmosphere, way outside, like James Webb distance outside, and beaming it back to Earth for uh, unlimited energy. And we're talking electricity, right?
And
Of
weren't
course.
we just talking about the things that are being created on the moon?
Yeah, the moon, the things that are being created based on the things that are already there,
Yeah.
and
I just
it
think it's interesting
Good night, Terry.
that India has made a bigger splash, so to speak, than the
Chandrian,
UA or the United Emirates have.
yeah,
I'm
Chandrian
amazed by that.
1, 2, and 3. Chandrayaan 1 was the rocket. Chandrayaan 2 is the orbiter. Chandrayaan 3 was supposed to be the lander, but something happened and the lander crashed with the rover inside.
Uh-huh.
Chandrayaan 2 crashed. I was right there online on the live feed, and I was rooting for them. I wanted it to work, but as far as we know, it crashed, and the rover Chandria 3 is stuck inside the wreckage. Chandria 2 is still in orbit around the moon, and they have found it. They found the wreckage.
But
Everybody's found the wreckage,
my
but
my
nobody
point
can. Hmm,
my point was that everybody's making all this yahoo to get to the moon, and the United Emirates aren't saying a darn word about it. So it
yeah,
stands to reason to me that they've been very quiet about what they're doing, or they're there already.
Well, they've probably been there for a long time.
Yeah, that's what I was basically thinking of. But it's I can't imagine that they would allow the Indians to beat them there. It just didn't make sense. Of course, the culture and the mindset are very different between them.
there's so much lag.
I know.
God, I'm copying that link that Raven put in the chat onto
Yeah,
show
send it.
notes.
Yeah, send it to me later if you can.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us, Terry. We're glad to see you the next time.
Good night, Terry.
We
Okay.
and there's a lot of things that are hidden from us. Just as a matter of course, it didn't even need to be hidden from us. Somehow it doesn't
Well,
have the headline grab that an axe murderer has. I don't understand that, but
it's
here
all
we
about
are.
distractions,
Yeah,
It's all about distractions.
and I've said as
Look
much.
over here. Don't look over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, funny how that list got totally covered up this last week.
Yeah. This is what we were talking about to start the
Hey,
show,
Cindy.
was that our distractions are just so big and so much that if the average person doesn't take time out from listening to it altogether, they don't know right hand from left to have any thought about it or anything else for that matter. You need to take time to for yourself, to not to think about those things, but to get yourself centered so that you can deal with some of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to mute
Absolutely.
myself. I'm going to type. I'm listening.
Hi, Cindy. I was welcoming Cindy to the chat. I'm not in the chat anymore, so I'm just giving you a verbal
Cindy.
shout out. Welcome. Welcome.
That's a very good point. YJ says that there's a mainstream science, then there's privileged information, two completely different worlds. And boy, isn't that the truth of it.
Oh yeah, so true. And they want to keep us dumbed down, and they want to keep us distracted most of all. And I just think this whole thing with the new meta that is going to be this whole virtual world where you'll have an avatar, and your avatar you can meet other people's avatars and even go to movies and go shopping and buy clothes for it and just live in this virtual world. I mean,
the meta stuff from Facebook has pretty much fallen flat because they had like 40 people in the world using it. Though there is more news, I don't have it.
I stopped playing with baby dolls back when I was 10.
Yeah.
And that's how I see it.
Well, it's just another attempt to keep everyone distracted and lure them into this virtual world where they'll be totally, part cyborg by the time they want to.
Yeah, no, you got a good point there.
And now
if you
I'm
don't
almost
like
afraid
the
to
look
eat anything anymore. They
No, I think
they have heard to restaurant. Now when you go to a restaurant.
I think that at some point, we very literally won't have to deal with our own faces if we won't want to. We can change it up any way we want to. And there's lots of women who want that. You can't go on YouTube without seeing makeup videos or clothes videos.
Or filters.
Or filters, exactly.
You're cutting out, but I can't.
Filters. How people want to change themselves. So,
we are so lagging out, y'all.
I know, I see it.
I don't even have a picture for Shadow right now.
Oh, wow. Now I see both Raven and
I can see
Shadow.
I don't see Shadow at all. I got a blank screen for Shadow.
Me. I don't have a camera on. I'm in my jammies and I'm not sharing. So
right, your icon is up, but it's not. It's
all right.
It's not a camera. But I got 0 video from Shadow.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Well, it's frozen, and I have a picture. I thought it was live, but it's actually just kind of frozen.
No, he's moving.
I'm not in mine.
I'll take a screenshot and post it on wherever. Yeah, that screenshot will be up somewhere.
No, we can't see you, Cindy.
Oh, is that music? Please, no music. Okay, please, no music. I don't want us to get totally taken off the air again.
No, it's my ringtone. It's okay. It's to my knowledge, it's not licensed or a popular song or anything.
Okay.
So no.
You hear noise here. It's just my ex.
Okay, I've got a fan going, and that's it. Okay, well, y'all, it has been almost 3 hours. We have worn it out tonight, y'all.
We covered it all too.
This second now I finally got Shadow. Okay.
Yeah,
but
now Livey's moving.
Okay.
Live and kicking.
And we're still lagging.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well. Okay, y'all, you know what? I think we should wrap it up on the public side. Don't hang up. But let's just say this has been the Quantum Show. Like and subscribe if you like what you heard. Tell your friends because we're I ain't gonna go there. But like and subscribe. Thanks everyone in the chat Hope you have a great week. The rest of the weekend, coming up week. If
Mm-hmm.
anything happens, I will be coming on. Links will be in the description of most of everything we talked about, either a mention and a timestamp or a link to a book or something. Links to the dice tower and the light up dice will be in there. I've already got that saved. So, yeah, it's
Cool.
been almost 3 hours, and well, everybody has heard everything we have to say
This week.
because
Make
yeah,
sure you
we
come
have
back next
been,
week.
yeah, next week. We'll be back next week. I'm getting tired, though I just had some coffee. So, going backstage, see what happens. All right, y'all. Thanks everybody. Keep it quantum.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks everybody for
Thank
coming
everybody.
and watching.
It's a great show. And
They're
See?
all
thank
great.
everybody.
Lag. Okay, well
Yeah.
that'll be that. Y'all keep it quantum. Y'all take it easy. Pushing buttons, pushing buttons.